is charged with the rape of a Columbus State student. He committed this crime just 24 hours after being released from the Muskogee County Jail. Well, in the aftermath of this crime, additional security will be in the down.
You are listening to the Sportsvisions Morning Show, brought to you by Global Diagnostic Services and the Finley Firm. Here's DJ Jones and Thrift Barringer.
Good. I can't hear myself. I don't know what's going on. Good Wednesday morning and welcome everybody to another edition of the Sportsvisions Morning Show. DJ Jones. I am Walter and Betty Jones' baby boy. I got it, Richard. I got it. Guys, I don't like that at all. You know, just fooling around, stumbling in. I just don't understand it. Good morning, everybody. Excuse everybody. This is not normally how we start a show, but it's real. It's the real deal. I hope everybody's doing well out there. We appreciate the fact that we are allowed to start your day. Unfortunately, we weren't able to start it as smooth as we normally do. Got a little huckling and buckling going on here and there, but we welcome you to the Sports Vision Morning Show. I am Walter and Betty Jones's baby boy, Daryl DJ Jones. Coach Larry Bush's grandson, the Thrifter. Thrift Barringer is in the building. What's up, Thrift?
In the building, ready to rock and roll on the hump day.
Ready to rock and roll. Richie Rich is in the building. What's up, Richard Holdridge?
What's up, DJ?
Well, if I could get a little of that toxicity out of this building this morning here, we could get off on a great show. And I just tell you, I'm not used to that, and you guys, you know that. So obviously, we'll get this thing going and get it crunk up. Want to say hello to everybody out there in Facebook land and as well as YouTube land. We want to welcome you to the Sports Visions Morning Show. We don't take it for granted that we are here to, of course, encourage, to entertain, and inform you on the goings on in the world of sports. And of course, for all of our friends out there in WLTC HD2, Sports Visions 921 land, we love you, but it ain't a damn thing you can do about it.
Hello, somebody.
All right, guys, let's get this party started. Boy, I tell you, man, the WNBA they have a couple of finalists, and again, Las Vegas was able to knock off of the Indiana Fever last night. Again, it was just whoever the hell the Indiana Fever's head coach is deserves a lot of credit because they made it to, of course, the semifinals and of course had Las Vegas, the reigning champs, on the ropes, for the most part. But again, Las Vegas and of course the great Aja Wilson, they will be playing Phoenix starting Friday in, of course, the WNBA championship. Rich,
yeah, Stephanie White should be considered for WNBA Coach of the Year. We knew that the Las Vegas Aces would be there. I mean, they are the standard. They have the best player in the WNBA with Aja Wilson. A little bit different team, especially after trading away Kelsey Plum. How about the Phoenix Mercury making it to the WNBA Finals without a retired Diana Taurasi, Brittany Griner's on the Dream, and Sophie Cunningham's on the Fever? I mean, that's incredible to have the Phoenix Mercury make it to the WNBA Finals.
Well, I'll tell you what, we'll have an opportunity to talk a little bit more about that as well. But got an outstanding lineup today. Of course, Keith Etheredge, who is the head football coach of the Auburn High School Tigers. They'll be, of course, taking on the Central Red Devils. Coach Etheredge I've been knowing him for quite some time. He and his team has always been a part of our Sports Visions football awards. And Coach Etheredge has a huge ball game on tap. We'll be talking to him at 7 o'clock. Tamara Johnson, a longtime coach, and of course, she is in the feeder system in Harris County. She has, been. She's a former Kendrick Cherokee basketball player, so she has a name of her own. But she's been in the coaching ranks for quite some time. But multiple championships at Carver Middle School in Harris County. I don't know if you're familiar with those guys, but just coming off of a volleyball championship.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned a feeder system for that Harris County volleyball team that looks very good and trying to win a region championship themselves and try to get into the playoffs.
Yes, indeed. But Tamara will be here with us, and we'll give her flowers and again congratulate her on, again, another championship. Smitty Griner, of course, he is the brand new football coach at St. Anne Pacelli, and of course, he's no stranger to the game. He's been in and around the area and coaching, and he is taking over the reins of the Pacelli Vikings. They got a big game this week. They're playing Calvary Christian, and this is going to be a big game for Smitty.
Yeah, it is, man. He's going to have to bounce back and get into region play with a win And Calvary, winner of this game, leg up to make the playoffs and get a good seed heading into that big month of October.
And, of course, at 8:30, Robert Sanders, if that name sounds familiar, he is the head coach of Greenville. And not only are we going to talk about his Greenville program, and, of course, he has one of the leading rushers in the country in high school football. And we'll talk about the Deering kid that he has. But his dad is an icon. And a lot of people, you talk about, all the current things, and I know all the shiny new things are great, but his dad was the first football coach at Carver High School. So the shoulders that I stand on, the shoulders that Jarvis Jones stands on, the shoulders that Isaiah Crowell and all the greats, his dad, Pete Sanders, was the first coach at Carver High School. And we're going to not only talk about Coach Robert Sanders' Greenville team, but we'll get a little some snippets about his dad and let him throw some of those iconic statistics, some historical information at us.
Yeah, he's doing a great job with the Greenville Patriots, which is located in Mayweather County. They're in the Chattahoochee Valley, currently 3-2, getting ready for a big game at Memorial Stadium this Friday, taking on the 4-1 Columbus Blue Devils.
Well, we got to line up Keith Etheredge from Auburn High School, Tamara Johnson from Carver Middle School, Smitty Griden from St. Ann Pacelli, and Coach Robert Sanders from Greenville High School. And, of course, we looking forward to talking to those guys. But before all of that, let's chop it up, because I know that we had some high school, or at least some middle school action. I had a flag football game, a championship game that Thrift, you had the pleasure of calling last night.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. Got to see Fort Middle School, who finished the season undefeated and beat Midland 7-0. A very low-scoring affair, but those girls were battling it out. It was a ton of fun to be there. Appreciate Kendall Mills inviting me and allowing us the opportunity to broadcast the game, and saw a really good contest between two good teams. And Fort is your 2025 Muskogee County Middle School Flag Football Champion.
So when you see the middle school championships, and of course, obviously you've been a part and you've seen some great high school flag football championships, is it pretty much, is it kind of an equal looking at young freshmen or young middle school football players, and then of course giving them an opportunity to graduate to the next level? I mean, or is it off a little bit when you're talking about high school flag football versus middle school football?
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were talking to Richard.
Yeah, I'm talking to you.
No, yeah, there is a major difference, DJ. I mean, we're not seeing passes being thrown all over the field. We're talking about 3 yards in a cloud of dust is what's happening right now. I will tell you, it is a nice feeder system. The fact that Jeff started at the elementary level, worked their way up to middle school, and then high school, we're starting to get girls that understand the game, and they're not coming out for the first time. I think that is very important, DJ. And I hope that they're all working together. And that's what Kendall's message was when I interviewed him, and same with Jeff Battles, is that they want girls learning how to play this at a young age. So by the time they get to high school, this is why we got Columbus High making deep runs, and we have elite from Pacelli to Central, because I think people in this area care about it very much so. And it starts, again, at the lower level, including middle school.
Richie, you got some things going on this week. You called a softball game, right?
Yeah, actually I called the softball game between Brookstone and Westfield School, and Ricky Rogers making his Georgia Alabama Sports Live debut. I mean, he joined me in the halftime show last week, but he was able to do play-by-play. So his first batter that he did for play-by-play, because I did play-by-play for the first 3 innings. He did the 4, 5, and 6, and I did the 7th inning. The first batter for Westfield School comes up and hits a home run. So his first play-by-play action was a home run call. Unfortunately, it was for the other team, but we went ahead and chopped up that clip, and I know that he is proud of that, and he has shared it, and I know that it was a great day, especially for Ricky Rogers, who I was blown away by his play-by-play abilities and color, and he's also learning how to be a producer. So we are excited to add Ricky Rogers to the Georgia Alabama Sports Live team.
Good deal. It's hump day. We're halfway there. And of course, obviously, all eyes are pointed on Friday Night Lights. And as it stands right now, the lineup for Friday Night Lights Thrift will be.
We have Thursday Night Lights. Can't forget about them. Carver and Shaw and Northside Monday's Mill. And then on Friday, we are going to try to pull off the impossible. Right now, it's looking like 4 games, which would be Jagged Smith Station, San Hope, Russell County. And then we also have Calvary, Pacelli, and then Griffin at Harris County. We will try our hardest to be able to get that Spencer-Sumter County game, which is it's a big game. It's basically for to see who's the second best team in the region. So And the way Spencer's playing, I think they can pull off the upset over undefeated Sumter County.
I want to make sure that everybody knows and gets ready for the Columbus State University's golf tournament that they're going to be having on October the 13th. That's a Monday, Columbus Day. Of course, this all funds and all the money will go towards the Columbus State University's basketball program. Coach Robert Moore and his staff do a tremendous job of recruiting. And, of course, again, they have one of the finest facilities in the Peach Belt Conference, in Division II for that matter, and looking forward to being a part of that golf tournament. I know this is something, Thrift, that you guys have actually been a part of since the start.
Yeah, we'll be back there again. This is a good way to kind of promote CSU this upcoming year. He lets me interview almost every one of his team, and including some of his assistant coaches. So I look forward to being there this year. It kind of kicks off the season, and they invited us 3 years ago. This will be our fourth one now. That we've been a part of. So we're glad that we can partner with CSU and bringing you Cougar Athletics and specifically the basketball team. That means a lot to me.
Richard, have you had an opportunity to go out and work on your game at all? Have you gone out to hit some balls getting ready for this?
Not recently, but I have played at Bull Creek Golf Course. It is a very challenging course. I mean, there's not a whole lot of water traps. I've actually lost an entire set of golf balls because they've been hitting the water. So I want to make sure that I don't ever do that again. But I enjoy golf. I just haven't had the time to go out. And I used to a couple years ago go to a 9-hole course and just work on my short game with the par 3 courses. But Bull Creek is just absolutely incredible. We were there when Columbus won the state championship for the GHSA for golf. So it is a great facility. And I'm glad that CSU is going to be a part of their golf tournament is going to be there.
Big shout out to David and Angela, of course, two of the leads of the committee that they have in putting this on and raising money for the basketball program. I don't think people really understand, obviously, the shortcomings. And again, this gives me an opportunity to go even a little bit further into the life of a Division II head coach. I mean, Robert Moore and the money that they raise, obviously, it costs $20,000, I believe he said, was to have a full scholarship for the players. And of course, this golf tournament is, as well as other events that they have, help them to not only provide scholarships, but helps with the equipment, a lot of the things that you need in a program like Columbus State. A lot of people might think that Columbus State already has, the money and the funds, but again, I think that there is a disadvantage. No matter, he's not asking or he's not having any excuses, but Robert Moore is doing the most with the less.
Yeah, he is, and I appreciate his time and over 15 years, and last year being one of the best regular season, if not the best, in the history of the program. So I always commend Robert, especially a guy that has coached a lot of my friends and helped them get to the next level and help them win Peach Belt Player of the Year. I've kept up with his program since Steve Peterson and them were there 15 years ago. So I appreciate Robert, what he's done.
So as I understand, there are some slots still available. And of course, the cutoff is tomorrow as far as getting your teams in. And I know the tournament is a week or so later, but hey, look, go to my Facebook page or go to the Sportsvisions TV, radio, magazine page and get all the details on how to get signed up for the Columbus State University golf tournament, of course, to benefit the basketball team. All right, we'll go ahead and take our first break of the day. You're watching Facebook Live and you're listening to WLTC HD2 Sports Visions 921. This is the Sports Visions Morning Show.
I got my peaches out in Georgia.
Hey, it's Dan Patrick. Thanks for waking up with the Sports Visions Morning Show with DJ Jones and Thrift Barringer. Catch me at 9 a.m. every weekday morning right here on Sports Visions 92.1.
Good morning. I'm Rex Castillo. Here's a look at your morning headlines. Hosni Batabawia is charged with the rape of a Columbus State student. He committed this crime just 24 hours after being released from the Muskogee County Jail. Well, in the aftermath of this crime, additional security will be in the downtown Columbus area and the CSU River Park campus. Multiple agencies will be involved in this effort. Batabawia is scheduled to be in Columbus Recorder's Court later this morning. Opelika police say 25-year-old Dylan Pauk was turned over to them by Auburn police after Pauk was arrested at his Auburn home. He was booked on a criminal mischief charge in the first degree. Police say security footage captured 4 suspects reportedly spray painting multiple buildings, vehicles, and other property in the downtown Opelika area early Sunday morning. Phoenix City Police have a person of interest in the shooting investigation at Brookwood Park apartment complex. Officials are not releasing the name of the person of interest at this time, as the shooting remains under investigation. Police say 33-year-old Lenoris Boyd Jr. died on the scene, and a 31-year-old female was shot. She's being treated for non-life-threatening injuries at this time. From WRBL News 3, I'm Rex Castillo. Have a great rest of your day.
Good Wednesday morning. We are off to a mostly sunny start this morning with those temperatures in the mid to upper 60s. Expect a mix of sun and clouds this afternoon, breezy at times with a high near the mid 80s. Tonight, mostly clear and seasonal with a light breeze, those lows falling into the low 60s. And as we go throughout the rest of the week, expect increasing clouds by Friday while staying breezy. A few showers do arrive by Sunday as we track a weak tropical low moving inland.
Attorney Advertising, Georgia. Attorney 770, good law car accident lawyers. Paid after dramatization. Top dog does not mean we are the best. No guarantees of success.
It's not if it's going to happen, it's when it's going to happen. And when it happens, you better hope it ain't a bad one. You better hope it's a little one, a little accident. See, I believe that things happen for a reason. Like everything's been pre-written, like since you was born. If you get into an accident, it was supposed to happen on that day, that time. You were supposed to call Top Dog. You were supposed to ask for some money. You were supposed to ask for a lot. See, it was pre-written on that exact day. When it's pre-written, can't stop it. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. You were supposed to be in the hospital right now. That exact day, the dog was supposed to bite him. It was pre-written. He was supposed to eat him, but he bit him and bit him bad. Won't do that no more, will they? Any accident, Top Dog Law.
Hey there, fellow travelers. It's me, the Hotel Whiz. Before you go anywhere, call me day or night for hotel rates too low to publish. I'll save you up to 75% on over 500,000 hotels across the globe. You see, I've already done the research, so you don't have to spend time online trying to find the best deal. That's up to 75% off. Just call me, the Hotel Whiz. It's a free call, and you get instant access to rates too low to publish with no cancellation fees.
Make a free call now and save up to 75% off your hotel rooms the next time you're going somewhere for business or pleasure. Call the Hotel Whiz now and get instant access to rates too low to publish.
800-710-3739. 800-710-3739. 800-710-3739. Call the Hotel Whiz right now at 800-710-3739.
At Cartoons Car Stereo in Columbus, buy it today, get it installed today. That's right, same day installation. Cartoons, Rockford Fosgate products, stereo head units, amps, speakers, speaker boxes, alarms, remote starts, navigation units, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and so much more. Get same day installation today. Call or stop by today for details. Cartoons on Veterans Parkway in Columbus.
Catch the Paul Feinbaum Show, 3 to 7 on Sportsvisions 92.1. Now back to the Sportsvisions Morning Show. Here's three-time Georgia Bulldog SEC champion and 1980 national champion, DJ Jones and Thrift Barringer.
Welcome back to the Sportsvisions Morning Show. Good Wednesday morning. It's Hump Day here in Midtown, the beautiful studios, the PMB studios of Sportsvisions Radio 92.1 FM. I tell you what, October 1, the first day of October, guys. That means that Major League Baseball wild card, the playoffs is going on. Big shout out last night to the victorious winners in the first round of the wild card, the first game of the wild card game. Detroit beat Cleveland 2-1. San Diego lost to Chicago 3-1. Boston was all over the Yankees 3-1, and Cincinnati got blasted by L.A., the Dodgers 10-5. And Richard, I know that with everything that's going on, it's kind of difficult to watch the game, but I did get to see. I just saw a couple of innings the game started early yesterday.
Yeah, I was able to see the tail end of the Yankees Red Sox. Red Sox were up 3-1 in the bottom of the ninth. The Yankees had the bases loaded.
Yep.
And Aroldis Chapman, who, remember, he pitched for the Cubs, he pitched for the Yankees. Now he's pitching for the Red Sox. And they are able to take game one at Yankee Stadium. The way that they do the wild card playoffs is the home team is the home team all the way through.
Yeah.
We're going to have games 1, 2, and 3 in 3 days. That's how they do it. So if you are able to get game one and you are the road team, you put that team on the brink of elimination, but the Yankees have an opportunity to get 2 more games at home. So it's a huge advantage for the home team.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, who's at a disadvantage? The number 1 and number 2 seeds. They're just sitting back waiting. We've seen this before. Remember, the Braves had the 1 seed, and they won over 100 games, and they ended up losing to the Phillies in the divisional round a couple years ago.
Thrift, what does it feel like? Because it's been now since 2017, since we haven't been able to, know that the Braves are going to be in the playoffs. Do you feel any type of way about it?
No, I don't feel like I get to feel any type of way about it, just because every year since they won the World Series, I've been busier and busier, so I don't feel like I even get to enjoy it. And I really checked out from the Braves about 3 months ago, so it didn't really affect me this year as much, but it did feel, I guess, a little weird last night when I was sitting at a bar watching a bunch of games and knowing that the Braves didn't play today. I mean, that was kind of, oh, I forgot they're eliminated. But it didn't really affect me this year because I checked out for them months ago. So
did I hear you say you were sitting at a bar last night?
I did.
Smoking cigarettes, drinking brown liquor?
I needed it after
Boy,
a long
you needed
day.
it.
I needed a stogie. I needed a drink. No doubt about it. I will not say the place of business I was at. I did not. I got convinced and bullied into going there, but it was a good time just to get away and kind of relax after what was a long day.
Once again, big shout out to all of the flag football middle school teams. Of course, that both Fort is the champion, and again they played against, who was that, Thrift?
They played against Midland Middle School, so they both came in. Actually, Midland had 1 loss. Their only loss was to Fort earlier in the year. If you go back and watch, I mean, it's not like these girls are throwing it all over the field. It was not a high-scoring game. There was one girl, and I apologize, and Kendall Mills apologized to me too. No rosters. So she got number 4 called, and number 4 for Fort was electric. She had a couple nice spin moves. I don't think there was a roster anywhere.
That wasn't fair.
Also too, there really wasn't a PA announcer. Robert Edmonds wasn't there. So usually if there's a PA announcer at every one of these games that we go to, we always have a roster. They did not have that. I don't think anyone was even keeping up with stats last night. They were just keeping up with the scoreboard. So Fort ended up winning that 7-0. And I wish I could have got that young lady's name at some point, but I'll make sure to have that before we have end of this week to give her a proper shout out.
Absolutely. Again, just a championship game. Was this a decision that was just made in the 11th hour?
Yeah, this was 11th hour. This was we were invited Tuesday to come out and like, hey, if you got nothing else going on. So that's why I went and did an interview with Kendall to kind of promote it, get people to come out there. And then we were sitting there because the whole idea was just to promote the event. And I said, you know what? Let's broadcast it. These girls deserve it. And then lo and behold, I'm like, you know what? You kind of need rosters to be able to broadcast. We had everything else. I was feeling so good. And I'm like, oh, crap. We're about to start. Where do we have rosters? And Kendall's like, I was like, my bad, coach. I should have probably told you ahead of time. But either way, I'm glad we were able to at least get the broadcast up and those young ladies to be able to play in front of the community because that is what we're all about here. And by the way, middle school football starts today. And I said on the broadcast last night, it means a lot to me, middle school football with my granddad. And there are 6 games happening at different locations. One of them being Fort taking on Aaron Cone, which is a big-time rivalry. So go out and support these athletes. Remember, Aaron Cone and Fort, both of them have had Fort and Jacoby Caslin. You see how good he is? Aaron Cone, Zach Watts. I mean, you're talking about who's who coming from these 2 teams, and they've been your best teams here over the last couple of years.
Glad to see them getting started because obviously they're a very integral part in the Sportsvisions High School Football Awards. Also, we honor the top players from each middle school as well.
Yeah, last year we didn't get to do that because the championship game was another week after. This year, the championship's December the 3rd. So that will be plenty of time for us to decide who's the champion, who's getting an award. They start this week. They got playoffs that go all the way until November. And then the playoffs start November 11th and 12th. November 19th will be semifinals. December the 3rd, the championship.
Any special reason is why the schedules were adjusted or why they went over last year? I mean, is there?
Well, the main reason why they move it is because of the weather. Like they understand high school, you can't push back, but middle school, remember, they're only playing within here. The Muskogee County School District controls when that's being played, and the main thing was the heat index. So they didn't want to start that young of an age out there in that type of heat, so that's why they always move practice to October. Games usually start in November, December, championship close to January. This year, they felt like the weather wasn't as bad. They started practicing in September. Games, Jamboree last week. Games start today, first week of October.
Any kind of preview as to who are the powerhouses as far as the middle schools are concerned?
Yeah, your guess is as good as mine. Now, I know there's some people out there that really cover it. Shout out to some of those guys like Terrence Flowers. I love to pick his brain on it. I know Aaron Cohn won it all last year. I mean, when you have Zach Watts, I mean, geez, that was like a man amongst boys. That's not even fair, DJ.
No, not at all.
It really is not, because that guy would have started.
You see what he's doing to high school
and
kids.
he would have started from many high schools last year as an 8th grader. Fort has always been a great one. Richards, Joey Browning's son. Oh my goodness, I want to find this. Josh Browning, you know him. Gosh, DJ, he won a championship with TJ Woodson
at Richards
2 years ago, and then before that was Fort again. So Fort, Aaron Cohn, Richards. Dang, I just said Woodson, Castlin, Watts. I mean, we've had some incredible athletes come through that middle school DJ, and you've been giving them awards from there. And watch, by the time Zach Watts leaves, he's going to have a middle school player of the year, high school player of the year. He's going to have so many awards from Sportsvisions.
Well, just a little heads up. Tomorrow, Tate Watts, of course, the father of Zach Watts, will be with us. Of course, Zach has 11 touchdowns already, of course.
Wow.
Has a couple of kickoff returns, but I do know that he's had 3 kicks called back, kick returns to call back that I've seen him personally. So, again, he has 11 total touchdowns, scrimmage and kickoff returns as well, but he could have very easily had 14, but 3 have been called back. And again, we were just just a little bit more than halfway of the season.
Yeah, I cannot believe the impact that Zach Watts is making as a freshman at Carver. We saw how great he was at Aaron Cohn, and this just goes to show when you're developing these kids early and they get that taste of success, that it's able to translate when they get to high school, and Zach is doing a great job at it.
Yeah, the only thing I worry about with the Carver Tigers is obviously they have a plethora of talent. Zach's sensational, and he's already getting looked at and recruited by Georgia. Is next week they go on the road to Sumter County.
Here we go.
And it's really the first test since they were on the road.
Let's load up the bus.
At Whiteville, or is it Whitewater?
Whitewater.
Yeah, Whitewater. And Sebastian played pretty good there. But Sumter County is a whole different ball game. They're shutting down the talent in Americas. They feel like this is their year. This is their Super Bowl. And I'm interested in seeing in that type of environment, especially if Sumter does punch Carver in the mouth, what is the response going to be from the freshmen? What's the response going to be from Jarvis Jones? They've been up in every game, big. There's not been one game they have had it close. Every game they won by 26 or more. I'm wondering next week if they have a closely contested game, how they're going to respond. I can't wait for that. But they got a big one this Thursday against Shaw first. I don't want to overlook that one either.
I just got to add this, though, that those young freshmen, these guys, they're not normal freshmen. They're on another level. They are another level physically and mentally because, again, to come into the high school scene and to take over and to be so calm and poised, that's unbelievable, man. I just, I shake my head every time I see those guys play. The quarterback, Sebastian, his poise in the pocket, his taking command in the huddle on the sideline, how he handles himself and works out during the pregame. And, of course, Zach with his ability to not only perform at a high level out of the backfield, but his ability to return kicks and punts, it's just unbelievable. We have not seen anything. Let me just say this. I have not ever seen anything quite like that.
Not as a freshman. I know we talked about we're not putting him up there yet with the greatest of the greats. He's got to finish out his career. But as a freshman, DJ, I don't remember anybody having that type of profound impact and getting recruited by Georgia and all them, like not just recruited, salivating over this young man. This is a once-in-a-lifetime generational talent. And I hope everyone out there understands that and doesn't take advantage of it and goes out and supports it and doesn't create any type of toxic atmosphere for this young man. So we can love him in this community all 4 years and then him watching him go on the next level.
Absolutely. And again, when you've been gifted and when you've been blessed, it's nothing you can do about it. This guy has track speed and he has cat quickness. And, of course, he has a frame that he's going to get even bigger. He probably weighs in at about 170 pounds, about 5'10" or so, but unbelievable. He's long. And he just has the body and a frame that is going to fill out. And again, I just haven't seen anything quite like it. The way he's able to, jump cut and the way he's able to plant and reverse and even the power that he displays, and he getting people off balance, and it's incredible.
Yeah, he's got a great head on his shoulders too, because we're having his dad on tomorrow.
Absolutely.
A great family, great lineage, and I look forward to talking to Tay, his dad, about how he created Zach Watts out of nowhere, man.
Well, again, the lineage of that family, again, the DNA in that family, the Watts, we talked about the Watts gang, again, 4 kids out of one household that are all, 3 of them are playing college ball. And then, of course, the final one being Zach. And then, of course, Frank Watts' daughter, Lacey Watts, is the outstanding volleyball player over at Northside High School. And again, it's just crazy. It's crazy. And it's we hadn't seen anything like it, but we're going to celebrate it. I know on this show, because we, if you've seen anything like it before, hey, tell me about it. But as long as we have those kids here performing and at that high level, at an elite level, we're going to talk about them.
Yeah. And you really got to give credit to the parents for raising them and taking them to practice and stuff. I know how hard it is, having 2 daughters, having to take them to practice. But when you got 4 kids and they're all close to the same age, so they're all going to practice at the same time. Some of them are teammates and some of them, it helps, but just the work and the effort to put into to hone their craft to perfection. And also additionally, outside of practice, playing in the backyard, the competitive nature amongst siblings has really driven them to be successful.
Well, I know one thing. I'm looking forward to talking to Keith Etheredge, the head football coach from Auburn High School. Again, and it's from a multitude of things. I know that and again, this is what I do know, is that we only have a few minutes with them because they actually will be practicing football this morning. So they practice before school starts. How many high schools that that, get up in the morning and practice this early before they go to school?
Yeah, not a whole lot, but I think that, with the weather, you try to get that outdoor practice.
It was
before it gets
cool
really,
last night too.
A little cool, but that they're used to it, like trying in the morning, and you trying to get acclimated because they got a big game coming up against Central. And I know that Coach Etheredge has got those Auburn Tigers ready, but they've been on a 5-game win streak and they're just ready to go.
I'm curious to know how is it to have the high school in a town where the college is so celebrated, and I know that they're beloved, the high school is, but with the competition, obviously, I know that they play on different nights. A Friday Night Lights is the day that the town shuts down for the high school, and again, of course, all boots on the ground at over on the plains on Saturday. But just to get an idea from the head coach who's been there, who's actually won a lot, to talk about the love that he gets from the community. And again, but I know those folks love their football up in Auburn.
Yeah, they do. And by the way, Lee Scott's not too bad either. The private school that's in there, they've won state championships. They're actually undefeated this year, and they're in the same region, obviously, and they're Glenwood's ultimate rival. So they got some big time football over there. Obviously, we know about how good Auburn has been. Omar Mapson is right now on the Auburn Tigers, who was that all-world running back last year for them. So this rivalry between Central and them, I'm telling you, Central comes in after getting their
behind.
Yeah, embarrassed. And listen, I know everybody's coming out of the woodwork right now, and when you hold yourself to a standard, and sometimes I wouldn't say look down, but you hold yourself higher than everybody else. When you get brought down a peg, the community is going to start saying stuff. Like there's no reason to get upset. You just got to take your lumps. Yeah, it is impressive that you had IMG Academy come here, but it is what it is. You're just not on their level yet. You get humbled, you learn from it, and then you move on because you got Auburn coming up. Worrying about what the community says. I mean, if Carver got blown out, guess what? Everybody's going to say, oh, Carver, look, they finally played someone. Look what happens to them. Carver's not on their level. That's just how it is in this community. There's no reason to get upset. It's the beauty of talking sports.
I finally had the opportunity to see some clips from that game last Friday night, and it was unbelievable. They, IMG brought in a 5-star quarterback, man. He threw for, seemed like 4 touchdowns, and he had a 50-yarder that he ran. It looked like he was just a man amongst boys, the way he was just running away from people. Yeah. It's incredible. It looks like a doggone college team.
They have 30 players, and all of them are going to Power 5 schools. I'm going to say that one more time. 30 players, every one of them going in. The biggest thing was their offense and defensive line. Those guys are between 6'4" and 6'7", and Central's offensive defensive line is between 6 foot and 6'3". No offense, DJ. Big's always probably going to outplay little, no matter how many schemes you got. And then they got all the skill set players on the outside. And you made mention of the quarterback, too.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are. I don't think there's a team in Georgia or Alabama that would be able to hold their own against IMG, which, in essence, why Florida state schools banned them from playing them. Georgia schools are not allowed to play them. I'm talking about the public schools. And Alabama says they're close to making a rule saying they're not allowed to play IMG Academy because they don't like the fact that they're a glorified recruiting school. And yeah, when you recruit, you should beat public schools. They just have to do what they have in front of them.
Absolutely. So the Auburn Tigers will be facing the Central Red Devils. And again, this is a battle of 6A. For these guys are rivals. They're 6A. They got rid of 7A.
No,
they still got 7A?
Yeah, in Georgia, they got rid of 7A. In Alabama, they still got 7A.
All right, well, 7A at its finest. Looking forward to a huge game, but looking forward to talking or chatting with Coach Etheredge. All right, as well. Hey, 706-324-1420 is the number to call. If, in fact, you want to talk shop, if you have something that we're not talking about that you think that needs to be made notice of, just give us a call. We'll be happy to talk to you about it. Go ahead and take our first break of the day. You're watching Facebook Live and you're listening to WLTC HD2 Sports Visions 921. We are your hometown sports guys.
If it's local, it's on the Sports Visions Morning Show with former Georgia Bulldog DJ Jones and Thrift Barringer.
Do you hear that? Asthma triggers are everywhere, from dust mites, pet dander, and pollen to smog and smoke. An asthma attack can strike anywhere, anytime. Be prepared with quick-acting Primatene Mist. Clinically proven to open airways quickly. It's the #1 FDA-approved asthma inhaler available over the counter. Primatene Mist. Breathe easy again. Use as directed.
And Doug.
Here we have the Limu Emu in its natural habitat, helping people customize their car insurance and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. Fascinating. It's accompanied by his natural ally, Doug.
Limu, is that guy with the binoculars watching us?
Cut the camera. They see us.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Savings vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
You guys just didn't want it bad enough. That should have been an easy win. What were you doing out there? You got to hustle. You could have made that play if you'd been open.
On the car ride home after the game, when you think you're helping by telling me what I did wrong and what I need to work on, all I hear is that I'm not good enough, that I'm supposed to be perfect, that it's not okay to lose. On the car ride home, all I need to hear is how much you love me and enjoy watching me play, that my worth isn't determined by my performance, that even on my worst day, I am worthy, that you see me learning, growing, and doing my best. And that is enough.
This message presented by the AHSAA and the Alabama High School Athletic Directors and Coaches Association.
Here's the tale of the daily med fill. Same old pharmacy, same old bill, but those prices kept rising higher still.
Till the savings wrangler rode in, cool as can be. Tap Good RX, saving massively.
No plan? Don't matter none. Up to 80% off. The deals are done.
Discounts hitting harder than Ma's chili. Dang. That one little app does all the rest.
Save time and money on prescriptions.
Check Good RX. Good RX is not insurance.
Lori's Furniture Express, your express way to save.
Happy fall, y'all. It's Pumpkin Palooza time at Gorey's Furniture Express. Make a purchase, pick a pumpkin, and win a prize. Every pumpkin has a number, and every number is a winner. Discounts include 5, 10, up to 15% off, and you may even get free delivery. And that's only at Gorey's Furniture. You're going to love this place. Alabama Highway 169 in Opelika.
Hey, it's Dan Patrick. Thanks for waking up with the Sports Visions Morning Show. Let's get back to DJ and Thrift on Sports Visions 92.1.
Welcome back to the Sports Visions Morning Show. DJ Jones, Thrift Barringer, and Richard Holdridge in the building. Big shout out to Georgia Alabama Sports Live. And, of course, the lineup for Thursday will be what, Thrift? What game? What football games?
Well, we're promoting Northside Monday's Mill. An add-on that potentially could happen is Shaw and Carver, but the main game that we really are putting out there right now is Northside Monday's Mill. I think this could be a chance for Northside to get back in the win column. And Coach Orris Pays' team they've had not one but two different really well-coached games that just came up short in. Carver and then, of course, Harris County last week. So would be good to see the Patriots in the win column.
Guys, let's go there. What's going on with Coach Johnny Gardner and, of course, the Shaw Raiders right now? I know that they lost their athletic director, but I don't think that had any bearing on, again, because that was his guy. Of course, Blair Harrison, where I work really closely with Johnny Gardner, the coach over there. And, again, I know that, they've had some struggles this year. But from what you've been able to see in the games that you called, what has been the problem?
I think two things. They've had a tough schedule. And they lost a lot of his key senior leadership from last year's team, losing a player like Sincere Ford and losing some of the weapons that Aaron Grant had. And I think not having Aaron Grant start the season as the quarterback, it felt, cluttered. He was the returning starter. I know he's trying to get recruited as a wide receiver or tight end. It was
Is that really what the deal was? Because
I'm not 100%
we're
sure.
5-6 weeks into the season now, so that should be some kind of.
I don't want to speculate, but he is.
Yeah, I don't
he
want
started against Columbus High, and I don't know the reason behind it.
He looked off.
I don't know if he looked off. I just think that he's not in the position that he was in last year, which he was utilizing his legs a lot more. This year, they're wanting him more as a pocket passer, and I'm not saying he's made bad throws. The timing's been off for Shaw. And yes, this year I would say out of all the teams that I had high hopes for, Shaw was one of them. In year 3 of Johnny Gardner, they've been a disappointment. They're 1-5 this year now, and they got probably a butt whooping coming on Thursday against Carver too.
Absolutely, but my question again is that coming out of the gates, obviously everybody was excited about Grant being the quarterback, and then we had this other young man that who wasn't a bad quarterback, but
TJ Peters.
But when you got a veteran quarterback coming back, and I was hearing that because Grant was being recruited as a wide receiver, who does that? I mean, you play your best players in your best positions.
Yeah, and I think that the offense they were trying to run too, that Peters is a little bit better at throwing the ball around the field. Which, if that's the case, I understand, but maybe throwing the football around the field wasn't the ideal situation for this program. Maybe it was like last year, utilizing Aaron Grant's legs, getting the running game going, maybe even doing a 2-quarterback system. There's just been no continuity. Against Columbus High, Shaw never got it past the 40-yard line of Columbus. They never got it. One time they were in the red zone. That I never would have thought that. Now, you're telling me that maybe they do that against Carver? Okay, I can hear you. Or Sumter County. Athens Academy, I get it. Northside, it was a bigger school. They even scored 2 touchdowns against them. But Columbus High would not expected not only shut out, but not even get an opportunity to try to score. They weren't even close. That is head-scratching material that I saw last week in the Shaw Raiders.
So the Shaw Raiders and the Carver Tigers will play Thursday.
Yeah, they will. And remember, Carver took Columbus 63-7, and Columbus took care of Shaw 17-0. But, hey, if you add both of them up, it should look ugly, but you never know. Shaw could come out and play an excellent game, and it could be close, just like Northside was, because Carver has got a big one next week for the region championship in Sumter County. I would think Jarvis Jones would have his guys not overlooking Shaw, but if that does happen for especially 15, 16, 17, 18-year-olds, then that could be a recipe for Shaw to maybe hang in the ball game.
It's what's the thing about Carver is that we were talking about those freshmen, those underclassmen players, and I feel sorry for the guys that have been there, Jacoby Caslin, and of course Popcorn. These guys are great, but you just got a phenom of a freshman running back that again, and the thing about it, when it's time to put the third string in, if that's what you want to call it, those guys are the younger generation of the team, but they are just as good as most teams' varsity starters.
Yeah, it's a good problem to have 3 running backs that could take it to the house at any moment, and that's why Carver's running up the score on these, because you're putting your third string running back. Yeah, I see the running clock second half, putting in your third string, your fourth string, but the problem is that the third string and the fourth string are playing hard, and that's why Carver's running up the score. And so this is just going to be a recipe for Carver that when they have to play a Pierce County or an Appling County in the playoffs, they'll be ready because they have that depth that they're going to need in the playoffs.
Tell you what, I do know that Miles has been doing what the receiver has been doing an outstanding job, but TJ Woodson has come into his own. He done another couple of touchdowns, and you talk about a freshman quarterback. I don't know who was the backup. Is the backup another freshman, or is it? I don't even know
who the backup.
When the games get out of whack, So who usually has been coming in at the quarterback position to relieve the freshman?
I'm going to have to think about that.
Well, I would not be shocked if TJ Woodson can play quarterback. We've seen what the athlete he is. I'm just impressed. His first year playing football. We know his skills on the basketball court. We've seen his skills on the baseball
Who said it was
field.
his first year playing
I want to say,
football?
I don't think he played last year for Carver.
He played. Well, no, he was in middle school. He was actually Sportsvisions middle school player of the year.
For
He was a quarterback at Richards. Yeah, so that's a couple of years ago.
Because he was a freshman at Carver last year.
Right.
If he played, I didn't really see him.
No, he didn't play. He didn't play. But I thought when you say first year
at high school, that's right.
I got you. But he's a talented kid, and I'm glad to see him out there. I'm glad that his dad Tim has him out there playing because he's a phenomenal young man, and he's going to grow even more, and he is getting more and more comfortable as you're seeing him. What I love about him is his courage. He's catching these passes across the middle where a lot of kids don't, when you talk about high school receivers, catching the ball in traffic is nothing. That's not on their schedule. They don't want no parts of that physicality. But TJ, not only does he thrive, but he catches the ball and he makes people miss, which is another trait that I'm really impressed by.
Jamarcus Brown, who's a freshman, is the only other Carver Tiger that has played 2 games as quarterback, and he has 1 attempt.
What class?
He is a freshman.
Freshman, okay.
So Jamarcus Brown is the backup quarterback. So they have a starter and freshman, and the backup's a freshman. And then if you look, Miles, who's a senior, has had a great year. I don't want to take nothing away from him. He's been sensational. On the outside. Then, of course, Caslin and Tarver. These guys are trying to cement their legacies. It's one of the greatest senior classes ever. Think about what they would have accomplished, DJ, if they do win a championship this year. That's 3 semifinals, a quarterfinals, and 2 state championships if they can go back to back.
Shout out to the boogeyman. He's always
Kingston Boogeyman Brown.
The Boogeyman. I tell you, that young man knows how to market himself and promote himself.
Yeah. Also, got to give credit to the offensive line. Parker Pritchett, who's being heavily recruited.
Yes.
Also on the defensive line, Tristan Givens. He's going to Texas A&M. He's one of the top defensive ends in the state and the country.
And right now, Tristan has been out the last couple of weeks. And again, it's a good problem to have, knowing that you don't really have to have your best defensive player, maybe best player, not out there right now until playoffs because you got plenty of talent.
Here's something that a lot of people maybe know, and maybe it's just a lot of other people that might not know. Carver has a kicking game, and of course, Chad Spencer, the former outstanding Shaw Raider kicker who went on to Alabama State and some other colleges, he's the kicking coach, and his nephew is actually the kicker. And again, it's good to see Carver, making extra points, and when they get in the red zone or get close, and if they get down to the 4th down, now they don't have to go for it. They can kick, they can count on chalking up 3 points on the field goals.
And that matters, especially last week. We saw a 50-plus yard field goal by Columbus High, Isaiah Virgil. Legatron. And by the way, I want to throw out there, we are having voting for the highlight of the week. And there's 3 highlights. Calvary's Jamar Williams had a kickoff return for a touchdown. If you go look at Harris County, they had a bowling ball 70-yard. Like, he literally had his hand on the ground keeping him up, and then somebody hit him from the backside, and it gave him a burst of speed, and he went ahead of the pack and scored a touchdown. And then the last one was Columbus High. And I asked everyone to go out there and vote because, in my opinion, a 50-yard field goal in this area, DJ, that should be commended. That should be the highlight of the week. So go out and vote right now. It ends later tonight, and we'll announce a winner. Right now, the leader is Jamar Williams with the kickoff return. But again, I would think it should be Isaiah Virgil because a 50-plus yard field goal, man, that is just not something you're used to seeing. And I was so impressed. Heck, that he had enough leg. He probably could have got it from 60. That's how big it was.
Let me just say this, guys. We've been calling games now for 5-6 years around here, and I think that the kicking game and as for special teams has really, really improved. I remember once upon a time, teams wouldn't even, they would just line up and go for 2 after touchdown.
Yeah, Carver was one of it. Well, that 2021.
You got Carver on the brain, dude.
I'm sorry.
Are you
DJ.
on that staff?
Listen.
Are you an undercover coach for Jarvis Jones?
You know, I'm looking out for you, Jar. But 4 years ago when we did that 2021 playoff run, I remember Coach Joyner. He said, "We're going for 2." It seems like almost every time. But you're right. I think the kicking game as a whole. Jimmy Hunter over at Brookstone has been sensational. Glenwood's kicker has been really good. Obviously, Isaiah Virgil over at Columbus. I've seen some elite level kickers in this area.
Speaking of kickers, Coach Etheredge, the guy we're going to be talking to at the 7:00 hour, I know, and what comes to mind for the Auburn high school team is that I know that multiple years in the last 10 years they've had several kickers that will have won the Sportsvisions Special Team Player of the Year, and has been an outstanding kicker. Several of them have gone on to college, and I want to get Coach Etheredge to make mention of that, because some of those kids, because again, and what is it in the water over there? Because again, even back when we were talking about no kickers that were here and represented in the Chattahoochee Valley, he had elite kickers that were performing at a high level.
Yeah, go on and go play at the next level. So he knows how important it is to have a kicker, especially at the high school level, and what kind of weapon that can be in helping decide games.
And you know what? Not just kickers. I can remember back when Coach McGee was here. He wouldn't even when the opposing team punted, he didn't even put a punt returner back, because he just didn't trust his punt returner catching the ball, because the guys was, what do you call that when you fumble that? What's that term that we use in calling games when you muffed it, and just for whatever reasons. But I guess there's a lot more practice time that's being paid, and that's what you have to do. Just like if you're in basketball, when you're talking about shooting free throws, if in order to be a good free throw shooter, you gotta practice.
Definitely got to practice, and you got to put onus in it. And some schools just don't care to develop a kicker, and some schools don't have the people to develop a kicker, because the head coach is probably not, unless he was a special teams coordinator or something. Most head coaches are not going to spend time out of their busy schedule developing a kicker.
I tell you what,
you got to have a right person to
absolutely.
do that.
And again, I tell you what, we will. We got a couple of minutes before we go to the break, and of course, we'll have an opportunity on the other side to interview Coach Etheredge. But the Auburn Tigers are off this weekend, Thrift, and I think that they need an opportunity to reboot. And, again, the Auburn Tigers fans are not happy, but, I think that they have been in a lot of these games, and they're playing, a play here, a play there that could have been the difference in them being a whole lot better.
Exactly, DJ. They offensively look challenged, and I don't know what it is. I'm really worried about Hugh Freeze, the direction of Derek Nix. Where do they go? Jackson Arnold, no confidence. Oklahoma, I could chop it up. That's a good defense. You got cheated out of it. Your defense kept you in the ball game. You had a touchdown taken off the board that should have been in for one, but it was a defensive touchdown that was taken off the board. I still thought Auburn was the better team that day and should have won. I did not think that against A&M. I thought the offense was horrible, and they needed to get better because the schedule's so tough. They got Georgia coming off the bye week. They're going to have who's just got beat by Alabama. They're going to be motivated. You got Missouri, who's ranked and undefeated. You still got at Vanderbilt, who's ranked and undefeated. And, of course, Alabama to end the season. Auburn's got a tough stretch. So if they're going to want to have an opportunity in November to compete for an SEC championship game, now already 0-2 in the SEC, which I think puts them way behind the 8 ball. I just don't see it, man.
Richard, we got the Alabama coming off of a huge victory up in Athens between the hedges. They're going to be hosting Vanderbilt this Saturday, and I know that Vanderbilt has a quarterback that has made everybody rethink the transfer portal, because, again, you can see how Vanderbilt can go in, and other teams that they go in and get a great quarterback, and they turn their season around just like that. But what do you think out with Alabama and Vanderbilt?
Well, I don't think it's going to be a guaranteed win that Alabama beats Vanderbilt, because I've seen quarterbacks single-handedly beat Alabama. Like Johnny Manziel comes to mind, Cam Newton. Diego Pavia is special. He is going to make plays. I know it's in Tuscaloosa, and I know that Alabama is going to get up for this game because Vanderbilt ended up beating Alabama in Nashville last year after Alabama ended up beating Georgia. But you know that Vanderbilt is going to get up for this game. And when was the last time that Vanderbilt and Alabama were both ranked? This is going to be a huge game. And it's the 3:30 kickoff, too. I'm excited about it. I know you're excited about it, too, Thrift.
I don't know. 2017 was the last time both teams were ranked. Vanderbilt was ranked number 24. And by the way,
wow, that was true because they were undefeated.
The line,
that's right. 59-0.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
I wouldn't make it up, Richard. I think I would have it stuck in my brain
that was the
somewhere.
We Want Bama game. Yes.
And the guy comes on air and says, Bama, you're next. And then 59-0 was the final score in that one. I would not put Diego Pavia in the Johnny Manziel, Cam Newton era yet, but he has some lore to himself because he did upset Auburn at New Mexico State. He did beat Alabama at home last year. Obviously, the kid knows how to ball. I wouldn't say Heisman Trophy contender, but I also think Vanderbilt is a lot better. I think they're a really good program. I think they're well coached. I think they got more talent than they've had in 10, 15 years. And I expect Vanderbilt to keep it close and be pretty good this year.
Absolutely. And as far as the Georgia Bulldogs, they will have an opportunity. They've licked their wounds. They've been a couple of days here, but they got Kentucky coming in. I think that this is a possible blowout. However, you know what? If they are feeling sorry for themselves because of the loss, then this is a game that, Mark Stoops is a veteran coach in the SEC, and he's been around, and they've been known to give Georgia trouble.
So I heard a take by our friend Josh Pate, and he said the best job in America that he would want is Kentucky, because all you got to do is win 7 or 8 games, and you're making $8 million. I mean, Mark Stoops is not getting fired. He's in a good position, and you don't have any expectations to win at all. So, hey, look, I commend Mark Stoops, man.
By the way, Sam Pittman has been let go by, of course, Arkansas. But I tell you what, they're not a better guy.
No, but there is a worse guy, Bobby Petrino.
And watch, he comes on the scene, get the job, and then
he's going to win. That's what I'm saying. And watch, he's going to start winning.
A full-time job.
All right, we're going to go ahead and take another break. You're watching Facebook Live as well as YouTube. You're listening to WOTC HD2. Sports Visions 921. This is the Sports Visions Morning Show.
On that big watch on, never see music for a clock. I see the way the charts. I wonder is he ever gonna stop? And he charge 150 for the burst.
Stay tuned. More local and national sports coverage next on the Sports Visions Morning Show. Sports Visions 92.1.
Corey's Furniture Express, your express way to save.
Happy fall, y'all. It's Pumpkin Palooza time at Gorey's Furniture Express. Make a purchase, pick a pumpkin, and win a prize. Every pumpkin has a number, and every number is a winner. Discounts include 5, 10, up to 15% off, and you may even get free delivery. And that's only at Gorey's Furniture. You're going to love this place. Alabama Highway 169 in Opelika.
Do you hear that? Asthma triggers are everywhere, from dust mites, pet dander, and pollen to smog and smoke. An asthma attack can strike anywhere, anytime. Be prepared with quick-acting Primatene Mist, clinically proven to open airways quickly. It's the #1 FDA-approved asthma inhaler available over the counter. Primatene Mist. Breathe easy again. Use as directed.
O'Reilly. Check engine, ABS, or maintenance light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. The service is free and provides a report with solutions verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we could recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different.
Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. BABBEL.com.
At the YMCA, finding your why starts by making an impact together, touching lives for the better. It can be the gift of time or treasure, supporting a community through talent without measure. Here, compassion fuels commitment, finding fulfillment through enrichment, serving and improving. What a way to live, and what a gift it is to give. Find your why and get involved today at ymca.org for a better us.
This season of Georgia Bulldogs football is brought to you by Kinetic Credit Union, Yates Insurance, and Marsh & McLennan Agency, locally known as J. Smith Lanier.
WLTC HD2 Casita and W221DP Columbus. You're listening to the Sports Visions Morning Show. Sports Visions 92.1. Now back to the Sports Visions Morning Show. Here's Denver Broncos 1987 AFC champion DJ Jones and Thrift Barringer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Welcome back to the Sports Visions Morning Show. Good Wednesday morning. It's hump day, y'all. Boy, we're halfway through the week, and it is the 1st of October. Can you believe that, Thrift?
Unbelievable, man. It's already here. It's what we call pretender or contender month.
October. Man, we only a few weeks away from Halloween. What are you going to dress up as this week?
Dress up as Thrift Barringer because guess what's happening on Halloween?
What?
A bunch of football games. It's on a Friday night.
Yes, indeed. Big shout out to, of course, all of our folks that we had kids had the opportunity this week. We've had some dynamite guests, and of course, without further ado, let's go ahead and go right over to Auburn, where Keith Etheredge, the head football coach of Auburn High School, is with us. Good morning, Coach. How are you?
What's up, guys? How y'all doing this morning?
Good deal, man. So listen, Coach, first of all, let me just say this to you. I commend you. I know that we only have a few minutes here to talk to you, but you guys actually have football practice this morning. How long have you been practicing football before school starts?
We've done it. I've done it on Thursday, basically my whole career. And then we started doing it on Wednesday for about the last 3 years.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great, man. I think that's a great discipline to get these guys up and at school and on the field and, of course, showered and often. I mean, that gives them that's that grown man effect that you have on those kids.
Yeah, they do a great job. You know, we rarely have kids miss in the morning, and we have them first block. So we've got them from they get here about 6:15 on Wednesday, and then we've got to about 9:45. So.
Well, Coach, why do you do that? What are the positives? You said you did it on Thursday. What was the point of doing early practices? There's a benefit to it that you saw?
Yeah. Oh yeah. You know, a lot more recovery time for Friday. We do some cryo stuff on Thursday afternoons. You know, they go over to cryotherapy, you know, just get revived a little bit. You know, some of the guys who play a lot, also it gives them some time if they, you know, dentist, haircut, anything like that, they can schedule for Wednesday or Thursday after school. So
give us a little bit more information on that cryo, because I don't want to skip right over that, but that's been something that's been up and coming over the last couple of years, but now it is really in full force.
Yeah, we have a place right across the street from our school, and they do cryo, red light therapy. They have a place where, you know, you go in there and it's like a sauna, you know, so we do a deal with them, you know, they're really, really good. And our kids go there they go there usually once a week. A lot of them do, a lot of them play a lot, but what they do, they get in the cryo chamber, their heads out, their bodies in, and it gets down to like -185, you know. So they're in there for about 2 minutes, you know, and it's like taking an ice bath, basically like taking an ice bath, but a lot quicker, you know. So it's really good. You know, I've even jumped in there before.
Yeah. Yes. So again, it's all about recovery, huh? So the guys, that's what that whole cryo thing is about.
Yeah. All about recovery, all about muscle recovery, you know, all about, you know, getting them fresh and making them feel that, that muscle recovery.
Absolutely. Coach, let's talk about the big ball game you got coming up against the Central Red Devils. Again, I know that's always been a big one for you, but what makes this one so different and special this year?
Well, you know, both of us are undefeated in the region. You know, I think it'll have a lot to do with it. You know, at the end of the year, I think who's going to be that with number 1, number 2 seed. So I think that it's a huge game every year. I think that, you know, Coach Nix does an unbelievable job with those guys over there. You know, they're in it every year, you know, at the end. So it gives you a really good gauge of where you're at, and they're ultra talented this year. So, you know, it's a big game.
Coach, we were just talking about your team and your program, and I made mention that as far as special teams, that's been a big boost in our area here in the Chattahoochee Valley. But you've always had an excellent kicker over there. Matter of fact, you had several to go on and play at the next level. Talk to us why. How is it that you're able to have such a great kicking game and great kickers? And then talk about some of the places that your kids have gone on to.
Yeah, well, you got Towns Magoo, who's at Auburn University right now. We've had a couple kickers, one to Middle Tennessee, so there's a lot of guys at a lot of places that have played here, and I think special teams is just something, if you put an emphasis on, it's a third of the game. I think that, the kicking game, you get field position, you get 3 points. We feel like if we get past the 40-yard line, we've got 3 points. Joe Daniels is our kicker this year. He's going to kick it in the end zone on kickoffs. He's going to hit those 50-yarders. He's going to, on punts, that's probably what he'll go to college for. Unbelievable punter. He's got like a 4.6 hang time.
Wow.
He's averaging about 44 yards a punt. He can boom it. He's big 6'4", 6'5", 210-pound kid who, he can really, really kick it. So, and it's like I said, it's a third of the game. You got to be good in the special teams if you want to be successful, because your special teams can win those games or lose those games for you.
No doubt about it, Coach. But one player that really defines that winning and losing is quarterback position. Casey Mauer's been pretty good this year, man. Leads your team in rushing. He's been excellent. He's just a playmaker. Talk about your junior quarterback and what you've seen from him as your leader here midway through the season.
He's just a really good athlete. Casey's a really good athlete. He's got all the arm angle throws. We got a great receiving group, and Casey has stepped in there and been unbelievable this year. His growth over from game one to right now has been huge. He's a smart kid. He's he's very athletic. He's very deceptive. His speed's deceptive. People think, oh, he's not that fast, and he gets he can go. So, and he's tough. He's a tough kid, and when you got a tough kid back there at quarterback, the other parts of your team seem to rally around that. And if he takes a big shot, it makes those other guys think, hey, if the quarterback can take him, I can take him. So he's just a tough kid and great young man. Works extremely hard. And when you got a quarterback that is in there outworking everybody else, when your leaders are doing that, it makes it for a really fun year.
Coach Keith Etheredge is our guest this morning on the Sportsvisions Morning Show. Coach, what are the pros or cons of having a program, a successful high school program in a city that has a major college football team?
Well, at times it can be tough, because you're always going to play second fiddle. People aren't going to be looking at the high school team as much as they are the college team, especially when you're in their SEC school. But, we understand that, we embrace that, and, we love Auburn football here. We love Auburn University football. We love Auburn high school football. This is a great community. People love football, and they support the high school program also. So it can be challenging at times, but at times it's so nice too. So there's pros and cons to it. So we try to focus on the pros and not the cons. One of the cons is, you go out and you try to raise money. A lot of people give all that money to
Right. Yeah.
But we have some people who do an amazing job supporting us. Our Booster Club, ran by Joe Donaldson, is unbelievable. And I think that they do an unbelievable job of getting out there and raising some money for our kids. And our kids don't want for anything.
Omar Mapson, he was the man last year, the man that met the legend last year, dude. But I commend you, Coach, because you were a heavy run team last year that, threw the ball when you needed to. And obviously this year you're having to throw the ball a lot more. Why is that? Why are you a type of coach that doesn't stick to your guns Instead, you do what is best for the team. And that means if you got to involve your offense or try something new this year, you do. And then I want you to give credit to those receivers like Joshua Asnew and a couple others, guys like Antonio Welch, B.J. Collins. These guys have been sensational this year.
Yeah, they have been great. You got, like you said, Josh, BJ, you got Josh Askew, BJ Collins, Tony Welch. You got Cash Reeve. You got Levi Kelly. Hampton Jordan's a big tight end, big junior tight end that we got off the basketball team. He's about 6'5", 250. So he's coming into his right now, So we've got a really good group of receivers, probably one of the more talented groups that we've had, top to bottom, because we're about 7 or 8 deep. They're not like, we don't have any 6'4" guys except for Hampton. All of our guys are small guys, speed guys, but they really go get the ball. As far as my philosophy, right. I'm for whatever we have. I'm not one of those guys who's going to be like, we're running the ball every down. We're going to go throw it, 12 times a game. No, we're going to do whatever it takes to win. We're going to adjust. I think it's a lot easier as an adult, as a coach, to adjust to what you have than as kids. If you got kids that can't do something, don't try to fit a round peg square hole. Let's go, make some adjustments and just do what's going to help make these kids successful.
Coach, we got a lot of people listening, and one of the things we do around here, you've been ultra successful and had a great career there at the high school. Talk to about some of the people that poured into you, that helped you understand what it was all about or what it was like to really, put your boots to the ground and get at it, keep your head down and keep chopping to be the success that you've become.
Well, I've had 2 coaches in my life that have been, major influences on me. One of them was my high school basketball coach, Andrew Brisky, who, when I came out of college, I was all about being a basketball coach, So I was the head basketball coach at Irwin High School for 4 years and, then went to Leeds and became the offensive coordinator and then took that head job over and was able to win 4 state championships there. And, Mr. Brisky was my high school basketball coach. Then when I took my first job was at Irwin High School, and Mr. Brisky was the principal there. So, just a major part of my life. The other man is like a father figure to me, is Bobby Fairley. He was my high school football coach. I grew up without a dad. My dad died in the military 3 months before I was born. So I basically was raised by a single mom, me and my 2 brothers. And, it was kind of tough at times, but, I had coaches who poured into me and, Coach Fairley always, he comes to games here. He was just at our game against Moody last week, over there standing in the end zone and, it's awesome to see those guys come back. Mr. Brisky was at the game the week before. So those men were really, really important to me and poured into me. And, Coach Fairley actually said, I wish I'd have been a little different when you were in high school. I wish I would have known what I knew then now. And I told him, I said, look, the Lord put you in my life and you were perfect for what I needed. So just 2 men that poured into me a lot.
What community and what city was that high school that you went to?
That was Leeds High School.
Leeds.
Yes. And then I was the head coach there I was there for 10 years as a head coach. We had a lot of success there. I think we were in the quarterfinals every year for 10 years straight, played for 5 state championships and won 4 in those 10 years.
Good deal. Coach, I know you got to get out of here, but before you go, I definitely want you to tell everybody out there in the Sportsvisions Nation that don't know. Obviously, we made the announcement that we were going to be having Courtney Morgan, the general manager for football from the University of Alabama. He's going to be speaking at our Sportsvisions 18th annual football awards, and you have been a part of that award ceremony. How much does a program like that, in your best guesstimation or in your mind, benefits the self-esteem and for the betterment of these kids?
It is an awesome program. Sportsvision has been great for us. And since I've been here, we've always sent guys over there. Y'all have been so gracious to host that. And Courtney's an awesome guy. He's going to do a phenomenal job. He is a class act. He's one of those guys who, you say his name, the coaches around here know exactly who he is. And he's unbelievable at recognizing talent too. Alabama's got a diamond in the rough there. And, I think he's going to be an amazing speaker. I cannot wait to y'all's event. It's going to be awesome.
Good deal. Coach, thank you for joining us this morning on the Sports Visions Morning Show. Hey, good luck this weekend, man. Look forward to talking to you.
Good luck, Coach.
I appreciate what y'all do for high school football. God bless. Go Tigers.
Go Tigers. That's Coach Keith Etheredge. He's a great guy, man. A lot of energy this morning, early in the morning. But I love the fact that he get those young men up, get them ready. Then they're practicing through.
Yeah, get them in a routine. And they got a huge game against their rival Central coming up. It's Friday night.
All right. We'll take a short break. You are watching Facebook Live as well as YouTube, and you're listening to WLTC HD2, Sports Visions 921. This is the Sports Visions Morning Show.
Stay tuned. More local and national sports coverage next on the Sports Visions Morning Show. Sports Visions 92.1.
Good morning. I'm Rex Castillo. Here's a look at your morning headlines. Hosni Batabawia is charged with the rape of a Columbus State student. He committed this crime just 24 hours after being released from the Muskogee County Jail. Well, in the aftermath of this crime, additional security will be in the downtown Columbus area and the CSU River Park campus. Multiple agencies will be involved in this effort. Batabawia is scheduled to be in Columbus Recorder's Court later this morning. Opelika police say 25-year-old Dylan Polk was turned over to them by Auburn police after Polk was arrested at his Auburn home. He was booked on a criminal mischief charge in the first degree. Police say security footage captured 4 suspects reportedly spray painting multiple buildings, vehicles, and other property in the downtown Opelika area early Sunday morning. Phoenix City Police have a person of interest in the shooting investigation at Brookwood Park apartment complex. Officials are not releasing the name of the person of interest at this time, as the shooting remains under investigation. Police say 33-year-old Lenoris Boyd Jr. died on the scene, and a 31-year-old female was shot. She's being treated for non-life-threatening injuries at this time. From WRBL News 3, I'm Rex Castillo. Have a great rest of your day.
Good Wednesday morning. We are off to a mostly sunny start this morning with those temperatures in the mid to upper 60s. Expect a mix of sun and clouds this afternoon, breezy at times with a high near the mid 80s. Tonight, mostly clear and seasonal with a light breeze, those lows falling into the low 60s. And as we go throughout the rest of the week, expect increasing clouds by Friday while staying breezy. A few showers do arrive by Sunday as we trek a weak tropical low moving inland.
Need a roll-off dumpster? Southern Dumpster Service is your local choice for roll-off dumpster rentals and stump grinding. Southern Dumpster Service, serving the Columbus and surrounding areas with fast, affordable, and dependable service. Call them 706-570-0731. That's 706-570-0731. Or check them out on Google and Facebook under Southern Dumpster Service. Just remember, when you need a roll-off dumpster or stump grinding, contact Southern Dumpster Service.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile with a message for everyone paying big wireless way too much. Please, for the love of everything good in this world, stop. With Mint, you can get premium wireless for just $15 a month. Of course, if you enjoy overpaying, no judgments, but that's weird. Okay, one judgment.
Visit mintmobile.com/radio.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
Here we have the Limu Emu in its natural habitat, helping people customize their car insurance and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. Fascinating. It's accompanied by his natural ally, Doug.
Limu, is that guy with the binoculars watching us?
Cut the camera. They see us.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Savings vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Hey, would you like to sponsor the Paul Feinbaum Show? Call 706-327-1217 and find out how. That's 706-327-1217 to sponsor the Paul Feinbaum Show.
Your home for the Dan Patrick Show, 9 to 12 on Sports Visions 92.1. Now back to the Sports Visions Morning Show. Here's former Green Bay Packer DJ Jones and Thrift Barringer.
Welcome back to the Sports Visions Morning Show. Good Wednesday morning. It's Hump Day. Thrift, can you believe that we are Halfway there, bud.
No, I can't, DJ. And these weeks go by so daggum fast. And before you know it, we're already going to start basketball season, DJ. Can you believe that?
Yeah, we've already started. Perfect practice. And again, you guys were actually calling a game.
Yeah, we did that 2 weeks ago. We'll be back not this week. Playoffs start this week. So go and support at Pacelli starting at 1:30. And they'll have games going all the way until 7:30, 8 o'clock. But we'll be there next Sunday, October the 12th. That's when the semifinals and championship will be, and we look forward to bringing you coverage live from the Fall League.
Live from the Fall League. Hey, man, big shout-out to Coach Keith Etheredge and, of course, his Auburn high school football team, man. Just you could just feel the energy just oozing out. And you know what? He's fired up about being the coach there. He's fired up about his team. I just love the energy that he brings in. Again, here he is, they're, 30, 40 minutes away. But yet and still, I got people that are right here, probably in the city, in the same town, or within closer proximity, that don't take the time out to come and let their kids enjoy the Sportsvisions Awards luncheon, and that's a doggone shame.
It is a shame, but I love the people that want to showcase and talk about the people that do appreciate it, like Keith Etheredge and the Auburn football program.
And you know what I say right now, and I've said that a couple of years. I used to get upset because, again, I took it personal because, again, I don't worry about the coach in particular. I just the kids is because this experience that we have for them through the way that we set it, what we have everything set up, that production down at St. Luke, and again with the graphics and the lights and the trophies and walking across the stage and the music and the DJ, it's an experience, and not to mention the food. This is something that these kids, most of them will probably be the biggest event that they've ever had been a part of, in their high school careers. So for a coach, that maybe has some, he's a little busy, or the athletic director, I can understand it. But, man, give the information, especially if they are being awardees or if they're being honored. Give the kids the information. Give the parents the information so that they can bring the kids down for that experience.
There's no reason not to have them involved. I don't understand it. I don't get it. Let the kid choose. Even if you want to be one of those that you're busy or you can't. I don't be honest. I don't know any coaches that busy. I really don't. Yeah. There is no excuse. No offense to these coaches, they're not Nick Saban and Kirby Smart. And if Nick Saban and Kirby Smart can make time in their schedule to come and speak, and you can't make it, I find that hard to believe that your schedule is so busy. You're not the president of the United States. You're not the mayor. You're a glorified high school coach. Well, you should be there.
Absolutely. We're proud that this will be the 18th year, and it's been spectacular. We've had the opportunity to grow from the Hilton Garden Inn, where there was probably 155, 160 seats total, to now that we have over 600 seats. And again, that it's a must-see event. Box office, it's just great. These speakers have been just dynamic as a part of motivating these kids and coaches and all of the people that are able to get into that room. And again, the more and more, that's another person that has told me, and I've heard, if I hadn't heard it a half dozen times already in just a couple of weeks, I hadn't heard it once. But Coach Etheredge just talked about our speaker, Courtney Morgan, the general manager for the University of Alabama's football team, is a special person. Coach DeBoer is connected at the hip with Courtney, and Courtney, again, and just think about this: when you're a head coach on this level, as Coach DeBoer is in the SEC at Alabama, recruiting, the transfer portal, and you're talking about in NIL. He turns all of that over to Courtney so that he can coach and his coaches and teach his players. So just think about what the responsibility alone, and then his ability to communicate with people. Coach Etheredge just said, if you mention his name amongst the high school community, everybody knows Courtney's name, and they know he's a great guy. So that speaks volumes.
Yeah, it 100% does speak volumes, man, and that's what matters. And I'm glad that you're getting him, DJ. We talked about this yesterday. It shows another avenue in sports that people and kids can look to grow to. Yeah. I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
This guy's Kalen's right-hand man, and he can kind of shine a light on why many schools are having general managers and why that is important so coaches can go back to doing what they're doing.
Absolutely. And, when we talk about, this big game coming up, man, I tell you, this is a regional rivalry that it just incredible. It's incredible when you talk about, getting together. Here, Central coming off of a major deal. Again, a big loss to IMG. And getting it together. Now, they have to get it together really quickly because, I don't know how, we didn't get any injury reports or anything. I don't know. Hopefully they came out unscathed so that they can be at full strength when they're, of course, going and going. But this is always a brawl. This is as you like to call it, a bloodbath when you talk about not necessarily a blowout, but a very competitive game because these kids know each other. Of course, they know each other from, going to summer camps together. And again, Auburn is just, 25, 30 minutes up the road from Phoenix City. So a lot of these kids know each other.
Yeah, they do. And there's going to be trash talking, as there should be. And this is also, according to Max Preps, a top 5 matchup or close to it, a top 7 matchup. Auburn ranked number 7, Central ranked number 3. And they'll be battling it out this Friday night. And winner of this game has been the region champ, DJ, over the last 6-7 years. Remember, Auburn's made it to 2 state championships and lost. Central's made it to several and only won 1. Or if you want to count Jamie DeBose back in 2018, they've really won 2. The second one with Knicks just 2 years ago. But this is a huge game, and it's really decided the region here, even though Opelika may have something to say about that when they take on Central in a few weeks.
Well, I'll tell you what, coming up in just a little bit, we'll have an opportunity to talk to Tamara Johnson. And again, talking to those middle school coaches that basically are the feeder systems to the high schools in their areas. Well, up in the county, boy, Carver is, that middle school is synonymous with producing some great talent, both male athletes and female athletes for the high school. And looking forward to talking to the championship-laden young coach, Tamara Johnson. She's been in it long enough to understand, and she's also a former athlete herself. So we're looking forward to talking to her.
Yeah, I can't wait to have on Coach Johnson. I've heard a lot of great things. You said you've had a lot of championships in your post when promoting her about coming on. So I can't wait to dissect her mind and her brain and why she's gotten involved in coaching.
All right, we'll take a short break. When we come back, it'll be all things Coach Tamara Johnson. You're watching Facebook Live and YouTube, and you're listening to WLTC HD2, Sportsvisions 921. We are your hometown sports guys.
Hey, it's Dan Patrick. Thanks for making us your home for local, regional, national sports talk in the Chattahoochee Valley. This is Sportsvisions 92.1.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
Here we have the Limu Emu in its natural habitat, helping people customize their car insurance and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. Fascinating. It's accompanied by his natural ally, Doug.
Limu, is that guy with the binoculars watching us?
Cut the camera. They see us.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Savings vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Do you hear that? Asthma triggers are everywhere, from dust mites, pet dander, and pollen, to smog and smoke. An asthma attack can strike anywhere, anytime. Be prepared with quick-acting Primatene Mist. Clinically proven to open airways quickly. It's the #1 FDA-approved asthma inhaler available over the counter. Primatene Mist. Breathe easy again. Use as directed.
Corey's Furniture Express, your express way to save.
Happy fall, y'all. It's Pumpkin Palooza time at Gorey's Furniture Express. Make a purchase, pick a pumpkin, and win a prize. Every pumpkin has a number, and every number is a winner. Discounts include 5, 10, up to 15% off, and you may even get free delivery. And that's only at Gorey's Furniture. You're going to love this place. Alabama Highway 169 in Opelika.
You're listening to the Sports Visions Morning Show, brought to you by Global Diagnostic Services and the Finley Firm. Now back to DJ and Thrift on Sports Visions 92.1.
Good Wednesday morning and welcome back to the Sports Visions Morning Show. DJ Jones, Thrift Barringer. Big shout out to Richard Holdridge, who's off to do his daddy duties. Also, big shout out to Coach Keith Etheredge, the head football coach of Auburn High School. They're getting ready to go up against the Central Red Devils. I tell you what, the energy that he it was just exuding out of his conversation, Thrift, it's infection. I tell you what, it got me going. Obviously, I'm a guy that's hyped in this early in the morning, and we're tasked to get everybody's day started and off to a good morning. But again, and nothing like a coach, and I love a coach and that can get you fired up, get you excited. And I tell you what, our next coach, her name is Tamara Johnson, and she has a plethora of championships. She has a championship, a culture, and a championship fabric. She's out of Harris County, of course, Carver Middle School. And I want to tell you, she's a former Kendrick Cherokee. Good morning, Tamara. How are you?
Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Love that beautiful smile this morning. You just brighten everybody up, man. But you know what? I see why. I know why you got that smile on your face. You're fresh off of a 2025 volleyball championship, but that's just to go on the shelf with the other gazillion championships that you won, man. How did you do it? What has made it possible for you to have such a championship pedigree?
It's just my upbringing in sports as well. Like you said, I'm a Kendrick Cherokee. It started there at Kendrick. We had a winning culture at Kendrick High School. Then I went off to University of South Florida in Tampa on basketball scholarship. We had a winning culture there as well. It's always been the coaches, which made me want to be a coach. And so here I brought that fabric, as you said, is in my DNA. I brought that here to Harris County Carver Middle School. And all I can say is that parents and athletes who believe in the same mission and allow a coach to do their job and to coach and to bring that mission to fruition, that's the only way to win right there. So it's no magic formula or anything like that. Is when all the coaches, the players, and the parents are all on one page and one accord, magical things can happen at that moment.
You've been in the game over 20 years up at Harris County. I mean, is it me or do I think? I mean, are you flying under the radar? Because again, I don't know if you're getting the credit you deserve, because obviously you're the feeder school, and of course Harris County has had some tremendous programs and still does have. But 20 years, and again, I don't know. Is it me, or are you getting your your flowers while you're here?
I just want to give congratulations to I work in a great school district, and they have under some great leadership and over the years. I believe I have gotten flowers. I mean, I don't do this for accolades. I do it for the kids. I don't do it for applause. I really just try and bring the kids' mission to fruition. So any applause after that, I can applaud for myself, but it's all about the kids. So, whether I'm getting my flowers or not, as long as the kids are getting theirs, I have no complaints.
By the way, Coach, I was at Harris County Carver Middle School when you were coaching back in the day, 2005, 2006, 2007. I remember our heyday and having some elite athletes like LaMichael Fanning. I can name a ton of them. Matthew Harris and I can't forget the quarterback's name that I was really good friends with. But, Coach, you've done an amazing job there. Always thought the world of you. I do want to ask, how's your relationship with Coach Stephanie Ramsey Dunn? Because you're kind of the feeder system for her program in basketball. I know you're the volleyball coach too, but how's your relationship with the high school, knowing that you're kind of developing these young athletes and getting them ready for the prime time when they get up there?
Hey, I mean, everything's great between the two schools. We are a feeder school. I do also coach basketball. So actually basketball tryouts are today. I'm coming off a volleyball win and then, going into basketball now. And we're going to try the same mission. But yeah, everything's been successful here in Harris County for us being a feeder school, going to the high school. We've had some successful programs, successful athletes. You named a bunch of males, but I'm always pro women's sports.
I love
We
it.
have Jessica Carter. She helped win a basketball championship here, along with her three younger sisters. I've won a championship in basketball with all of the Carter sisters. But Jessica went on to the high school. She excelled. She got a Division I scholarship. She got drafted into the WNBA. So I do believe that we have a great union here in Harris County. I mean, we just get them, we turn them into athletes, and they go forth and prosper.
I tell you what, fruit doesn't fall too far from the trees. That's what the old man told me a long time ago. But, it's no secret that you love to pour into these kids. Your mom, let everybody know who don't know, that your mom, and again, her love of children, her love of course, pouring into young people. I mean, that's a chip off the old block if I've ever seen one.
Well, my mother is Dr. Joanne Thomas Brown Buchanan, married Edgar Buchanan. And she raised me to be tough as nails and to get over any obstacle that may come my way. She's a retired principal. So she was principal at numerous schools in Muskogee County, but they called her the female Joe Clark. So if you know my mom, that's how she is. She's very stern and strict. She's all about business, and that's been instilled in me. So when I pour into the kids, is more than athletics, is more than sports. Is they're part of a family here in Harris County. We try and preach a family culture. And so they're part of a family here, but we had a player who had a death in her family right before the tryouts. Right before the championship game. So shout out to the Ligon family, the Gilbert family. One of our starters attended a funeral and then came to the championship game. But before the game, we had to get the mind right, going through some things over the week. So you try and be there for the athlete, you try and be there for the family, and they're a great family. And, it's just a testament to what the kids go through and how the adults, whether it's teachers, coaches, have to pull them together. And she came out and she played for her aunt, and she did a great job. I put her right in the game when she arrived from the funeral, and she came right in and got 6 kills. So, yeah, it's all about the kids, and a lot has been instilled through me, through my mom, through my upbringing, through wonderful leadership over the years here in Harris County. People that believed in me, believed in the program, believed in the system that we're trying to run here at the middle school. So I have no complaints, but that's my background and my upbringing.
Oh, I love it, Coach, and I love that story, and that is exactly why we celebrate all coaches. But it really means something to me for middle school. My granddad, longtime middle school coach. I'm all about giving back, because what y'all do, this is where you teach kids how to learn to love the game. Okay. Because then when they get to high school, it becomes almost a job. Now you're having to work really hard. And you got to establish that love first, so then they can have that ability to want to do the long nights to get better at their craft. Why has middle school been your calling? Why have you been there for so long, Coach? Because I feel like with the winning, there have probably been several high schools that want you, but you just feel like this is where you've needed to be for the last 20 years.
Yeah, I mean, I do believe this is my calling. Teaching was my calling. I tried to avoid it for a long time. Actually, my mother, as a longtime educator, said, don't get into education. I was a Columbus firefighter, a sergeant on the Columbus Fire Department before I was an educator. So, but it kept calling me. Majority of my family are all educators or retired educators in the education field. I just honestly wanted to stay in the middle school. That's where I got certified at. I just feel that's where the Lord led me to middle school. I've had opportunities, would love to go to a college, but whatever the Lord says and guides me. But I've been here at Harris County at one school for 24 years now. Been coaching about 22 of those years here at the middle school. I just don't want to go anywhere else. I don't want to do the itty bitty kids, and I don't want to do the grown kids. So I'm here in the middle, and that's the middle school.
Coach Tamara Johnson is our guest this morning on the Sports Visions morning show. And Coach, in addition to all of that wonderful, teaching and coaching, you're also an author. Talk to me about Black Girl Magic.
Awesome.
Yes. So again, it's all about the kids, and definitely during COVID time, wanted to get with children that young girls. I wanted to speak to young girls and say not only in sports but in academics, in the world, in life, you can achieve anything that you put your mind to. Black women are always on the forefront of a lot of movements, and but all women, all girls, you have magic within you to overcome any obstacle that you have. So I authored a children's book just to defeat the dragon in your life, called Black Girl Magic. I do have a animated film coming out now. It's making the film festival rounds. Same title, Black Girl Magic. There is a non-animated short film out called Black Magic, which stars Donna Bisco, who is from Columbus, Georgia. She's in a lot of Tyler Perry films and movies, and she's from Columbus, Georgia, but she was in that film as well. So, a lot of things go on outside of education and coaching, but my main mission is always to leave people better than where I found them. And definitely our youth, definitely our young girls, in the society that we live in, human trafficking and so forth. You can overcome anything. You can overcome anything as a young woman, as a young athlete, as a young girl, and there's magic within you. So hence the book that was authored called Black Girl Magic. Shout out to my school, Harris County Carver Middle School, who has the book in the library. They bought the book, put it in the library, so our youth are able to see that and witness that. A friend of mine, Miss Tricia, she works at various BOTES. She works at various schools that allow me to come and read the book to the youth at the schools. So looking forward to doing that. So there comes the book. It's been authored. It's called Black Girl Magic. You can buy it on Amazon. It's by T.S. Johnson. Cherie is my middle name. So T.S. Johnson. And again, it's Black Girl Magic. And I would love if, people would go buy it just to spread word and positivity to our young girls.
I love that, man. And I love about showcasing and being able to achieve dreams in whatever field it may be. Is this something that you want to do more of in creating children's book? Was this like a one-off, or now that you got the itch and your guy is pretty successful, do you plan on doing this more often?
Yeah, but more books. I want to speak to our young athletes, but I'm also a filmmaker. So
I love that too.
That's what I do outside of here. So, web series, TV series, short films. So have a production company out of Atlanta called Signal 20 Productions. So I outside of coaching, when I do find time, which is rare, normally in the summertime, then we're in Atlanta filming different things, or throughout the year, again, whenever I can find a break or a weekend or something to film. But it's already being done, and hopefully we can get to a level of a Tyler Perry or a big studio at some point.
Coach Johnson, I often hear about the community of Harris County. What makes it special? Because for you to be there so long and, to pour into those kids there, obviously the support and the following has to have a lot to do with you being there for so long.
Definitely. So this is a great community. They're always looking out for the sports programs here. Not only sports, I mean, they look out for our kids. I mean, it is a close-knit family from the sheriff department all the way down, giving a shout out to Sheriff Jolly. But our administrative system here, our superintendent, our assistant superintendent, they make this a partnership. So we're in partnership with everyone in the community, from the gas stations. We have gas stations that donate to the middle school program, water, Gatorades, Powerades, whatever we need, because this community is just close. It's all about the kids, all about the success of the kids and the community. And we want our kids to look good, and we want our community to look good. And so I believe in that. And so that's why I've been here for 24 years, because I believe in the leadership of this county, from the sheriff's department all the way down to the school system. I believe in all of our leadership. So this is where I call home when I'm away from home.
I got you. I tell you what sticks out in my mind, and again, in following and covering Harris County athletics over the past few years, one thing that they're pro girls, they're pro women. The athletic director, the boys basketball coach is a female. The athletic director is a female. Again, with the great work that you're doing. So talk to us a little bit, because we don't normally see females in the positions that they're hiring in Harris County.
Yeah. So athletic directors, this is an equal opportunity county, and I love that. Yes, Lucy Ellison is now the head boys basketball coach at the high school. That's a big move right there. So I really appreciate our county giving women the opportunity to shine, to lead, to be in head coaching positions as well. I love it. I mean, they're giving us the opportunity, and I expect nothing less from our county. They've always been supportive, and so to me, that's not foreign. That we have a women's head basketball coach for boys. I mean, over time, there's always been a male coach for females. So
Yes.
why can't we do the reverse? And so Harris County is leading the way in that. And wishing good luck to Lucy in her mission in leading the boys team at the high school.
Coach Johnson, as we let you go, obviously I'm going to give you an opportunity to, for next 30, 90 seconds or so, just kind of speak to the parents, speak to the kids, speak to the folks that are listening to this program this morning about that Black Girl Magic. I want you to elaborate a little bit more and speak that Black Girl Magic into the audience.
All right. So, but before I do that, I got a couple of seconds. I do want to just say congratulations to the middle school volleyball team. You guys, I'm so proud of you. Want to give a shout out to the volleyball team here at the middle school.
Great
So
job.
proud of you. Way to finish the job. I always quote Kobe Bryant, and my athletes are always looking at me like I'm crazy. As we were approaching the championship game, they would say, "Coach, we're going to win this championship. We gonna get this for you, Coach. We gonna get this for us." And I'm like, "Hey, job finished? job not finished.
Right.
Finish the job."
Yep.
So I want to say to my girls, congratulations, job finished. Congratulations to your championship in the West Georgia League, headed by Mike Woodard. And got a couple of basketball players on the volleyball team, so they'll be at trials today for basketball. But wanted to give a shout out to the team, to my school, to my athletic director, and to everyone, faculty and staff, who supported us en route to this championship. But Black Girl Magic, hey, talking to all the women and ladies out there, young girls, high school and below, anything that comes your way, take a minute, breathe, think, focus, lock in. You can overcome anything, any dragon that comes up against you in your life. You can beat that dragon. So all parents, give your kids the tools necessary to be successful. All right. They're student athletes. Everyone, you're a student athlete. Student comes first. Lock in your classrooms. Don't be a clown in class. Lock in, be a leader. Show your black girl magic. You have magic within you to lead, and you have some prime examples here in Harris County Carver Middle School and Harris County, period. At the high school, you got Lucy. In Muskogee County, if you're listening out there, you got some great leaders and coaches there, teachers, parents. Everybody get on one accord, and let's look out for our young women, our young girls, no matter what their color or creed. Look out for them, bring them together, and give them some direction in life. Support them.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
Awesome.
Coach Tamara Johnson. Coach, congratulations and have a great rest of your morning.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you so much.
All right. We appreciate you. Boy, I tell you what, man, I'm ready to do something.
I'm going through
now.
a brick wall.
I'm going to make a
Job
difference.
not finished,
Let's go.
baby.
Let's go. Hey, man, you talking about running through a brick wall.
I'm ready
she
right
just
now.
gave it to us.
There we go.
All right, let's go ahead and take a short break. You're watching Facebook Live and you're listening to WLTC HD2 Sports Visions 921. This is the Sports Visions Morning Show.
And you said you had to get your laundry clean.
This is the Sports Visions Morning Show.
Let's do this.
Sports Visions 92.1.
I have a friend, about 50, had a bad accident and couldn't go back to work. If you're between the ages of 49 and 63 and can't go back to your job because of a physical or mental disability, Social Security could pay you as much as $3,800 a month. If you or a family member is unable to work because of a disability, call the Social Security Disability Helpline. Our team will give you a free case review and explain to you how much money you're entitled to. And you won't pay anything unless we get you benefits. See if you or a family member is entitled to close to $45,000 a year in Social Security disability funds. Remember, this is not something for people over the age of 65. If you're under 65 and can't work, call now.
800-413-7642. 800-413-7642. That's 800-413-7642.
Yates Insurance, a full-service employer and executive benefits firm offering tailored solutions. Founded on the principle of customer service and a commitment to your goals. Grown by building on experience and eagerness to explore new benefit options. Property casualty, your insurance needs, and HR service solutions for your company. Your benefit plan affects the health and prosperity of your employees and your company. At Yates Insurance, you get expertly crafted plans to meet your needs. Plan, design, and implementation. Yates Insurance, your benefit partner. Visit yatesins.com.
Here's a tale of Becky. Didn't know what to do with new meds prescribed and no real cost clue.
She squinted at prices, that can't be right. Then tapped GoodRx and saw the light.
She can get a deal. Book telehealth if she feels.
Learn about those meds without any stress. That one little app does all the rest. Even my horse downloaded it. Dang, save time and money on prescriptions.
Check GoodRx. GoodRx is not insurance.
Limu and I always tell you to customize your car insurance and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. But now, we want you to feel it. Cue the emu music, Limu.
Save yourself money today. Increase your wealth. Customize and save, we say.
That may have been too much feeling. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Savings vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Welcome back to the Sports Visions Morning Show. DJ Jones and Thrift Barringer. Man, oh man, boy, I tell you what, talk about a dynamite, a powerful message.
Wow.
Congratulations, Tamara. Coach Tamara Johnson from Harris County's Carver Middle School. And of course, on a great championship, volleyball championship as well. Again, added to the long list of championships that she's been a part of. And over 20 years coaching and teaching in Harris County, man. And of course, all the off the field things that she was talking about, talk about the filming in the book, as far as the author, just a tremendous talent, man. You never know as much talent again, but only on the Sports Visions Morning Show that it comes to light.
Yeah, exactly right. But her being able to go and film stuff, she's got a film production crew that's doing a short film and an animated series as well. And then her children's book, very talented a coach, and who's won 10 volleyball championships, 4 basketball, and just an amazing job at Harris County.
I didn't get a chance to ask her about, her college, South Tampa, what she was, South Florida in Tampa, because I I know that, when she was a co-ed down there, Ebor was still there, and I know, again, I just didn't think it was appropriate. She was on a roll and speaking positivity. Yeah. So, but I guess I'll talk to her again the next time I ask her, has she had an opportunity to spend some time in Ebor?
Yeah, that's her place. That's your place.
That's my place.
You claim
it. That's my new home and home away from home. Again, because I can, I can go and watch games, get lost with a stogie, cold beverage, man. And I tell you what, you know what? I could be there for hours and not just by myself. I don't have to have nobody with me, even though my lovely wife is great company. But she's off doing her business most of the time, and she's off with her crew. And she just leaves me right there, and she knows that I'll be there if she drops me off in the morning. And if she want to come back and get me later, it can be I could probably if I could sleep in the place, I could stay there.
That'd be your spot, especially watching football. You ain't moving, DJ.
Ain't moving at all. All right, also Keith Etheredge, who is the head football coach of the Auburn High School football program, and again, man, his success, what he brings to the table, his energy alone, it's no secret as to why they had so much success at Auburn High School.
Exactly right. And this guy's done an amazing job being able to lead his program year in and year out. The only thing he doesn't have is a state championship at Auburn. He's got 4 of them when he was at Leeds in Alabama, but he doesn't have one at Auburn yet. And this year they're 5-1 on the year. The only loss was the Fastavia Hills early on, but undefeated in region play, same as Central. And it should be a lot of fun this Friday night at Auburn.
Coming up on the other side, we'll have an opportunity to talk to St. Anne Pacelli Vikings head football coach, Coach Smitty Grider. This is his first season, Thrift, and I know that the season hasn't gone quite like they have wanted it to, but I mean, obviously, most first-year coaches, obviously, it takes an adjustment. Obviously, you have to get used to the players, you have to get used to your staff, and that's the kind of thing that, again, some of the ups and downs I'm sure that they're experiencing, but a huge game that would have definitely helped turn this season around. This week, the Calvary Christian Knights are coming in to play the Pacelli Vikings, and looking forward to talking to Coach Grider.
Yeah, I am too. And Coach Grider's got to get a big win this weekend. They do not want to go to 2-5 and be behind the 8 ball. This is really for playoff positioning and giving his team an opportunity to finish out the season strong. They need to take care of their rival Calvary, and Calvary's coming in hungry. They got mollywopped last year, and it was ugly, and they felt like the score was maybe a little more lopsided than it needed to be. So they come in with some extra motivation, especially losing to Brookstone last week. Both teams hungry for a big win. Should be fun. You can catch it on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Thrift, if you would, talk a little bit about, obviously, the powerhouses in that particular division there, and the realization of Pacelli coming out of this thing on the other side.
It's going to be tough. They play in a really tough region that's got Brookstone in it. It's got Calvary, Westfield, and Strong Rock. All those teams are vying for playoff spots. All of them except for Pacelli have won 5 games or more. Strong Rock's 5-2, Brookstone 6-1, Westfield 5-2, and Calvary's 5-1. The only team is Pacelli at 2-4, so they're going to try to bounce back. And then in that classification, Stratford's really good, FPD, some of those Macon schools. George Walton's undefeated. It's a tough classification for the Vikings, but if they're going to want to have an opportunity to have any chance of winning it all, they got to win at home against a Calvary team that's coming in hungry.
Are you expecting a bigger crowd than what we saw at the Calvary Brookstone game?
I expect there to be a lot of people at Diamond Field coming up here for sure, DJ.
Absolutely. All right, let's go ahead and take a break. You are watching Facebook Live as well as YouTube, and of course, you're listening to WLTC HD2 Sports Visions 921. We are your hometown sports guys.
I've been blind for a while now.
Hey, it's Dan Patrick. Thanks for making us your home for local, regional, national sports talk in the Chattahoochee Valley. This is Sports Visions 92.1.
Here's the tale of the daily Medfield. Same old pharmacy, same old bill, but those prices kept rising higher still.
Till the savings wrangler rode in. cool as can be. Tap GoodRx, saving massively.
No plan? Don't matter none. Up to 80% off. Deals are done.
Discounts hitting harder than Ma's chili. Dang. That one little app does all the rest.
Save time and money on prescriptions.
Check GoodRx. GoodRx is not insurance.
Vanity Fair calls BritBox a delicious streamer. Collider says everyone should be watching. Catch Britain's next best series with BritBox. Stream acclaimed new originals like Code of Silence.
You read lips, right?
And Linley, based on the best-selling mystery series.
Say hi, Linley. Take it from here.
And don't miss the new season of Karen Piri, coming this October.
You don't look like police. I'll take that as a compliment.
See it differently when you stream the best of British TV with BritBox. Watch with a free trial today.
Hey folks, this is Michael Bratton, and I want to say thank you to all my customers. Without you guys, we wouldn't be in business today. Remember, we're going to take care of you before, during, and after the sale. My sales team has over 100 years of combined automotive excellence. Shop us today, shop us at BrattonAutomotive.com, and remember this, I stack them deep and sell them cheap.
There's nothing like when you get that part from eBay and it just fits. Yeah, the first time. So you can do less of this and get right back to more of this. At eBay, you'll find all the parts you need, guaranteed to fit, at prices you'll love. Sounds good, doesn't it? eBay, things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Even though I'm away at college, Kinetic Credit Union is still the best way for me to stay connected here and at home. With the Kinetic mobile app, I have control of my accounts wherever I go. I can easily transfer money between internal and external accounts, get money faster by setting up recurring transfers, and I can find the nearest ATM or branch right from my phone. Plus, I can add my Kinetic cards to my phone's digital wallet and enjoy quick, secure, contactless payments. By the way, Mom, I need some more money.
Kinetic Credit Union, the energy for your dreams.
WLTC HD2 Casita and W221DP Columbus. You're listening to the Sports Visions Morning Show. Sports Visions 92.1, covering local and national sports. This is the Sports Visions Morning Show on Sports Visions 92.1. Drafted by the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Green Bay Packers. Here's DJ Jones and Thrift Barringer.
Welcome back to the Sports Visions Morning Show. DJ Jones, Thrift Barringer. Big shout out to, of course, Coach Tamara Johnson. She's at Harris County's Carver Middle School and all the great things that she's doing in that community up there. Congratulations on a new volleyball championship. Man, she's won about 10 or 12 championships in volleyball and basketball, and she was a hell of a player when she played at Kendrick. And, of course, she went on down to the University of South Florida in Tampa. Just a prize. She's just a gem for those kids.
No doubt about it. A great mind, great coach, talented lady, and glad that she was a part of this program.
Also, big shout out to Coach Keith Etheredge, the head football coach over at Auburn High School. And again, of course, a lot of energy, a lot of passion with Coach Etheredge. And again, a huge game with the Central Red Devils coming up.
You love Keith, man. That's a good guy.
Yeah, I've been knowing him a long time. Yeah,
and he appreciates the luncheon.
Yep, absolutely.
That's what we appreciate him.
Well, like I said, here he is 40 minutes away, and he is the first player. He and his players are the first ones at our awards luncheon.
Dressed, suited, and booted.
Suited and booted, always. Again, the fact that he comes from, he really takes it upon himself to expose those kids to the finer things, and so that they'll help them a little later in life.
Yeah, so no excuse for anybody else not to make that luncheon.
Absolutely. Hey, without further ado, let's go ahead and bring him up. He's the head coach of St. Anne Pacelli Vikings, the head football coach. Coach Smitty Grider, this is not his first rodeo, but he has been tasked to turn the program into a winner. Of course, Coach, good morning. How are you, sir?
I'm good, guys. How y'all doing this morning?
Real good, real good. I see you cruising in there. How far out?
Yeah, I'm a little behind schedule this morning, so we're going to do this on the run.
I got you. You're able to multitask, and I can appreciate that. Coach, you've been around some pretty good football teams and players, and you've been around some developing programs. We're halfway through the season, a little over halfway. We're not where we want to be, but obviously, you've been built to bring this team to fruition. Talk about the transition, because last time we talked to you, you were just being hired. And now, of course, you're into the season, got a couple of victories, and you got a few more that you should take care of.
Yeah, it's been a challenge. We've had 4 really, really tough road games that, all 4 of them are highly ranked teams. They all have one or 2 losses at the most, and it's been a challenge. The first 3 road games we had, it seemed like we were snake bit. Something crazy was going to happen where we were going to be without some of our key guys at the last minute. And, it just made it tough to win. And we're transitioning our offense from, very much a run heavy, wing T type of offense to more of a spread up tempo offense. And that's been a little bit of a challenge as well. We've had some growing pains with that, but we're getting better. We're playing better and better each week in some areas, even though, necessarily the record shows that. When you turn the film on, you can see how much better we've gotten in some things. And hopefully we'll continue to improve. I feel really good about our team when we get it all put together.
Yeah, Coach, when we were talking on Monday, you're liking that you're going to be home. You hadn't been home in over a month. How excited are you to be back at Diamond Field ahead of a huge contest with Calvary? Because this is a big point for you, Coach. A big win here can really catapult your team to finish out the season strong.
Yeah, it's good to be back at home. It's been a while, and that, obviously our record shows we play much better at home. And, we're excited about the opportunity. And, Calvary's coming in here with a lot of confidence, even though they lost last week. I think they still believe they're one of the best teams in the league. And, they're going to be ready to play, and we're excited about getting to play them.
Coach Grider, for the benefit of the folks that are in the Sportsvisions Nation out there that don't know you, why don't we go ahead and talk about where you came and where you got your first coaching opportunities? Who were some of the influences in your life? And just bring them up to speed so they'll know exactly who you are.
Well, my first high school job was at Opelika High School under Spence McCracken, who's a Hall of Fame coach in Alabama. I worked for him for 8 years. Before that, I coached junior high in Montgomery, and my junior high coach was my junior high coach.
Wow.
So he really was a big influence on just how to be a coach, how to carry yourself. And Cecil Foster's his name, and he really taught me a lot about handling kids and being a coach, and then going to work for somebody like Coach McCracken that, he's very detail oriented, one of the hardest working men I've ever been around. The thing I learned most from him is just how to prepare your team Monday through Friday or Sunday through Friday, and how to work in the off season and never stop learning. He's a guy that even after he retired would sit on the front row at coaching clinics and take notes. It just, you're never too old to learn. And so I've tried to stay up to date in the things that we do, and, and change with the times. And that's a great lesson I learned from Coach McCracken, and really how to prepare your team. Those 2 were probably the biggest influences on me as a coach, and been around some great guys that were on the staff as well. I've had a lot of assistants that have affected the way I do things, and just been very fortunate to be around some really good people.
I know you had an opportunity to really cut your teeth over at Beauregard. I do want you to kind of paint the picture for what it's like to be in those small town, places like Beauregard when they shut the place down, man. There's nothing else going on around in a 30-mile radius, and people come out and cheer on your Hornets, and how that was a place where you really got known for your success, and why it kind of led you over here to Pacelli.
Yeah, Beauregard's a special place. Mr. Brown, the principal there, was really good to me, allowed me to hire a great staff that stayed together. We kept our core staff together for about 8 years there, and that makes a difference when the voices are all on the same page and everybody's speaking the same language. And then got a community that really loves that high school, rallies around the football program. It's a great place, a place that I've missed at times, to be quite honest with you. Just that community, that small community, and, just how much love they have for the program. And I was fortunate to be there for 8 years and had a great run. And, a lot of it was due to Mr. Brown, the principal, and those assistants that we hired there. And those guys, some of them, A.J. Keogh was my defensive coordinator. Yeah. And obviously he's gone on to do great things at Central in baseball, did great things with our baseball program there. Just developed some great friends and relationships that I've had with not only the coaches but community members there for I guess for 20 years now.
Coach Grider, you've been brought in to lead this Pacelli Vikings program back to respectability and winning. I know that you'll be the first one to say that you can't do this by yourself. Well, I want to give you an opportunity to talk about your coaching staff and some of the guys that will be integral parts of getting this thing turned around.
Yeah, it's we're not where we want to be, obviously, but I've got a great group of men that are working their rear ends off every week to get better and to get this team better. My first hire was my offensive coordinator, Tim Gillespie. Tim's been with me at 2 or 3 different stops. He's just a really innovative mind offensively, and he's doing a great job. And then obviously the name hire for the Columbus area is Damian Daniels as my defensive coordinator. Damian's come in and really brought a lot of energy to our team, and I've really enjoyed getting to know him. He's a great coach. Does a great job. He brought Koa Picard with him, who's also coaches with the Lions. And those 2 guys are really doing a great job trying to put our defense together. And they're frustrated with how we've played. But nobody's going to work harder than those 2 to get it right. And I can't go without talking about Roger Beck, who's the heart behind what we do here. We couldn't do it without him. He coaches our offensive line. And my right-hand man, Chris Smith, I know y'all know Coach Smith.
Yes.
He's a jack of all trades. He works with our running backs and our D linemen. He runs the program, really. I couldn't make it without Chris. He's my assistant head coach and does a great job with our middle school program as well. And, that's the core of our group. We've got some young guys that are learning and coming along with Bridge Pepper and Austin Harnish. And we got Drell Green, who plays for the Lions. He's coaching our wide receivers. It's just a great group of men. We've meshed really well. We get along great. And I've got the utmost confidence that between all of these guys and myself, we're going to get this thing right and get it going in the right direction. And I think we are going in the right direction. We've got to perform better on the road, and hopefully we'll continue being good at home Friday night.
Coach, how's the week of preparation been ahead of this game with Calvary, and how do you make sure your guys don't lose sight of the fact that it's a rivalry game, knowing that next week you got Brookstone too, so you got to maintain focus but not let those external factors, have a lose focus for winning this game?
I think it's been a good week, and I think their focus is in the right place. Our deal is it's big because it's the next game, not because of who it is. It's the next game. It's a region game. The name of the other team shouldn't matter in how we prepare. And I think we've had a good week, and I think our focus is on Calvary. I'm pretty sure we're not looking down the road. And like I said, it's a big game because it's the next one, and it's a region game, not necessarily because it's Calvary.
Coach Smitty Grider is our guest this morning on the Sportsvisions morning show. He's the head football coach of St. Anne Pacelli Vikings. Coach, I played this game a long time, and I know better than most that my coaches are very important, but you got players and your senior leaders in that locker room. Those are the guys that really make a difference on your team being successful or not. Who are some of the guys you're counting on to help you with this team?
Well, we've got several guys that have stepped up and become leaders for us. Dustin Sherman, as our quarterback, has really weathered a lot of storms, and I've got a lot of faith in Dustin, and he's a great kid, and it just, he doesn't let anything affect him. He's the same guy no matter what's going on, and that's important to keep a level head. He's done a great job of handling a lot of adversity that we've been through this year. Getting John Thompson back in the lineup a few weeks ago was huge. John is he's a very much a vocal leader for our team, and the guys rally around him. On the defensive side, Tanner Pickering coming in as a first-year guy with us has been a leader in the secondary for us. And then up front, we've got, I say up front, at linebacker, Uriah Masick has been an awesome leader and a great player for us. Those guys kind of set the tone on the defensive side, and I'm just we've got great kids, and they want to win. They work their butts off. We've just, like I told them Friday night, we play extremely hard. And that's one thing that I've always told our kids on any team I've coached. If you'll just play hard and trust the coaches, we'll get us fixed if we're not playing well. But we've come to a point in the season where playing hard isn't enough. We've got to play well. And so if we'll start playing well with the effort that we're giving, we're going to have a good football team before this season's over with. But those guys that I mentioned are our leaders, and I expect them to be big Friday night.
Coach Grider, I know that you can appreciate engaging with your fans, engaging with your boosters. We of course, this is live on Facebook, and you got some of your people, some of your supporters. J.R. Zoning says that he says he's not trying to tell Coach what to do, but the trio of Mike Rowe, J.D. Davis, and John Thompson at wide receiver, the wheel route off of a 7 route is golden. You got to love it, Coach.
Yeah, hey, well, look. We got. There's a lot of routes we can draw up for those guys. We got to protect it, and the quarterback's got to get them the ball. There's a lot that goes into it, and I appreciate the advice. They are a great trio. They do a great job. It's hard for people to defend all three of them, and we can stretch the field and do some good things with them. The last week, the week before when we were at Whitfield, we had almost 600 yards of offense, and those guys made some big plays for us in the game, and I'm sure they're going to continue to do that as the season goes.
Last but not least, Jovar Rakestraw says that, and of course you made mention of him, Chris Smith. He says he should be the mayor. He's a great guy. So obviously you got your right-hand man is a great guy.
He is. Listen, I am blessed to have Coach Smith, and he's become a great friend to me, and nobody loves the kids at Pacelli more than Chris does, and nobody in our school does more than Chris. He's up there. I'm 24 hours a day, 7 days a week almost, and he's coaching middle school football, varsity football. He coaches baseball. He does it all. Runs a youth program. Man, I'm telling you, he is just a great individual, and I'm proud to have him on the staff. And I'm just glad he stayed with the transition. And I love him to death, and couldn't do the job without him.
Well, Coach Grider, we certainly appreciate you waking up with us this morning, driving into work this morning with us on the Sportsvisions Morning Show, man. Hey, look, good luck this weekend, and we look forward to talking to you in the near future.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on. Thanks for what you do, promoting high school athletics in this area. People don't really appreciate that sometimes, how important it is to these kids to get the publicity that you guys give them and the recognition. It just means so much. And I appreciate you letting me come on and talk about our program. I'm available anytime you want to do that. I love talking about our kids and our coaches and what's going on at Pacelli.
All right, Coach. Have a great rest of your morning, man.
Thanks, Smitty.
Hey, thanks, guys.
All right. That's him. That's the leader of the St. Anne Pacelli Vikings, Smitty Grider. I tell you what, he's been around a block or two. So, again, I wouldn't be surprised if we turn this thing around sooner than later.
I completely agree. And they got a big one this Friday night. You can watch it on Georgia, Alabama Sports Live.
All right, let's go ahead and take a break. You're watching Facebook Live, and you're watching it also YouTube. And you're listening to WLTC HD2 Sportsvisions 921. We are your hometown sports guys.
If it's local, it's on the Sportsvisions Morning Show with former Georgia Bulldog DJ Jones and Thrift Barringer.
Good morning, I'm Rex Castillo. Here's a look at your morning headlines. Hosni Batabawia is charged with the rape of a Columbus State student. He committed this crime just 24 hours after being released from the Muskogee County Jail. Well, in the aftermath of this crime, additional security will be in the downtown Columbus area and the CSU River Park campus. Multiple agencies will be involved in this effort. Batabawia is scheduled to be in Columbus Recorder's Court later this morning. Opelika police say 25-year-old Dylan Pauk was turned over to them by Auburn police after Pauk was arrested at his Auburn home. He was booked on a criminal mischief charge in the first degree. Police say security footage captured 4 suspects reportedly spray painting multiple buildings, vehicles, and other property in the downtown Opelika area early Sunday morning. Phoenix City Police have a person of interest in the shooting investigation at Brookwood Park apartment complex. Officials are not releasing the name of the person of interest at this time, as the shooting remains under investigation. Police say 33-year-old Lenoris Boyd Jr. died on the scene, and a 31-year-old female was shot. She's being treated for non-life-threatening injuries at this time. From WRBL News 3, I'm Rex Castillo. Have a great rest of your day.
Good Wednesday morning. We are off to a mostly sunny start this morning with those temperatures in the mid to upper 60s. Expect a mix of sun and clouds this afternoon, breezy at times with a high near the mid 80s. Tonight, mostly clear and seasonal with a light breeze, those lows falling into the low 60s. And as we go throughout the rest of the week, expect increasing clouds by Friday while staying breezy. A few showers do arrive by Sunday as we track a weak tropical low moving inland.
J. Smith Lanier and Company is now Marsh & McLennan Agency. We remain a full-service insurance, retirement, and risk management firm specializing in employee benefits, commercial insurance, surety, and personal insurance. It's our business to be there for you in the moments that matter, as we have for over 150 years. Protecting what and who matters most. Marsh & McLennan Agency is one of the largest insurance brokerages in the United States, offering high-touch service by trusted local insurance specialists. Located in Brookstone Center Office Park and online at marshmma.com.
Everything is expensive right now. Gas, food, you name it. You're spending more, you are making the same or less money. So what do? You rack up credit card debt. That's what you do. It's not your fault. It's the economy. And guess what? If you rack up too much credit card debt like some of us, you can't pay your bills. Then the credit card companies, as nice as they are, start hounding you for money. Then you start your downward spiral. A smart thing for you to do is to call the Zero Debt. They can help you consolidate all your credit card bills into one affordable payment. Millions of people have done it. It works to make you debt-free. Make this free call right now. It costs you nothing to learn more.
800-628-5675. 800-628-5675. 800-628-5675. That's 800-628-5675.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks Vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
Do you hear that? Asthma triggers are everywhere, from dust mites, pet dander, and pollen, to smog and smoke. An asthma attack can strike anywhere, anytime. Be prepared with quick-acting Primatene Mist. Clinically proven to open airways quickly. It's the #1 FDA-approved asthma inhaler available over the counter. Primatene Mist. Breathe easy again. Use as directed.
Hey, would you like to sponsor the Paul Feinbaum Show? Call 706-327-1217 and find out how. That's 706-327-1217 to sponsor the Paul Feinbaum Show.
If it's local, it's on the Sportsvisions Morning Show with former Georgia Bulldog DJ Jones and Thrift Barringer.
Welcome back to the Sportsvisions Morning Show. DJ Jones, Thrift Barringer in the building. Big shout out to Coach Smitty Griner. He's the head football coach, Smitty, of the Pacelli Vikings. Man, I tell you what, I feel a lot better about the Vikings hearing from him. Of course, I knew that Coach Griner is a veteran player. He's been around. He's been around for a while. So again, in the first season, in the first few weeks of a season, your first opportunity to coach a team, and in order to in getting acclimated to not only the players and your coaches and the system and the drive into a different place, it's going to take some adjustments. And he seems to be very comfortable, as I knew he would be, explaining exactly what's going on with he and his team.
Yeah, I appreciate him being honest and transparent and knowing they got a big one. Yep. It is no ifs and buts about it. They got a big one coming up this Friday night. You can go watch it at the Land, 7:30. And there is going to – listen, if you've never been to Pacelli, It is not the easiest place to maneuver in. So I'd get there as early as possible because when it gets closer to game time, the traffic's going to be absolutely atrocious. So go out, support, and it should be a lot of fun. I can't wait to watch it and see what it's all about.
Absolutely. And the legendary Dave Platter will be on the call. Yep. Georgia, Alabama Sports Live.
Dave Platter, Austin Allen on the call. We got Mike Peacock on the call with Ricky Rogers on Friday at Smith Station. We got, of course, Rick Beach in County, and I will be at Russell County, DJ.
Yeah.
For Stanhope Elmore. It's a massive game. Stanhope is 4-1. Russell County 5-0.
Yes.
We're going to get it on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Absolutely. I tell you what, Bryson Riggins is, I tell you what, he's continuing to soar as one of the top players in the state of Alabama and in high school football. And I know that he didn't throw a touchdown in the last game, but he apparently had a phenomenal day rushing the football. Five touchdowns by the running back, 4 or 5 touchdowns.
Unbelievable.
But Bryson, he on the season, he still he has double-digit touchdowns.
Yeah, he has. It's going to be hard trying to 40 touchdowns last year. That's hard to replicate.
Right.
DJ.
He was on pace, though, out of the first few games. Yeah.
But here's the thing, though. I think Griggs and I even think Bryson Riggins will take this. If it means he throws less passing touchdowns, but he's got a better running game and they're more balanced,
right?
They're a better team, DJ.
Yes.
When it's not relying on him throwing 9 touchdowns to win, and they can have him throw 2 interceptions and have an off night and still win by double digits and have a running back have 5 touchdowns.
Yeah.
This team's better, DJ, and that's why I give credit Dylan Griggs and the program.
Well, when we talked to, of course, Bryce during the summer, and I posed that question, and he basically told me, he says, listen, he said, I said to Bryce, would you rather have a 40 touchdown season or would you rather have a state champion? He said, no doubt about it. He said, whatever it takes for us to win. I don't have to have any the stats. And, you can respect that. It was not only a mature answer, but it was a great answer for the quarterback of that football team. And that's what you're seeing right now. Obviously, the defenses probably are dictating a little bit differently than last year. But, again, they're doing whatever they have, but they're still undefeated. So that's the main thing about what's going on. And I look forward to, not only Bryson having a great season, but Coach Dylan Griggs and the rest of those Russell County Warriors doing things that they've never done before. And that's to perform at a high level and to win out.
Yeah. And I'm excited to see what Russell County is going to do, because I think this is one of their best teams they've had in a long, long time.
A long time indeed. Speaking of long time, I tell you what, we were proud to announce, and I'll announce it once again, is that we have our guest speaker for this year's Sportsvisions 18th Annual High School Football Awards Luncheon presented by AFLAC. His name is Courtney Morgan, and he's a member of Kaylin DeBoer's Alabama Crimson Tide staff. He is the general manager. And for those folks out there like, well, what is a general manager? Well, again, in the last couple of years, the dynamics of high school, or at least of college football, has changed somewhat. Coaches have been dealing with the whole thing with NIL and, of course, all the money that it brings. The transfer portal recruiting has gone up a couple of notches, and it's become a bit of I think a little bit extra for some of the coaches. And some coaches have chosen to bring specialized guys in that are recruiters. They are brand managers. They understand the market. And Courtney Morgan is that guy for Caitlin DeBoer at the University of Alabama.
I think that's awesome. I can't wait for you to pick his brain, DJ. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I look forward to giving out the awards. And, man, it's been already incredible year. And I have some leaders in the hen house, as we like to say.
Right.
But we don't have defined winners yet, because it's pretender or contender month now, DJ. This is when the stars align and we start really feel like, who are these top players? Who are the top teams? Who has the chance to bring home? We think we know, but it really gets solidified at the end of October. So can't wait for this month of really good high school football.
High school football, indeed. Speaking of high school football, here's a guy that his dad happened to be one of the forefathers or one of the frontiers of high school football, black high school football in this Chattahoochee Valley. Of course, everybody knows about the greatness of George Washington Carver High School. But again, want to welcome, first of all, the head coach of Greenville High School, Coach Robert Sanders. But his dad, Pete Sanders, was an icon in himself. Good morning, Coach. How you doing, man?
Hey, man, how y'all doing, man? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. You were fine. You look good. You sound good. And again,
I appreciate
just happy to have you on because we're going to cover a lot of ground in a short period of time. First and foremost, congratulations again on the success that you've had. Of course, you were hired out by the folks at Greenville to rejuvenate their program and bring it back to respectability. And I think that you are well on your way to doing that.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. We've we got a I know you and Thrift know, we got a big ball game Friday night against Columbus High School, man. And Coach Peters is doing a great job there. And so we're looking forward to playing them at Memorial Stadium on Friday. And we beat them last year but they're a much improved team. And so, we're gonna use that, just what Thrift we're talking about as a measure stick to kind of see where we are. So we're looking forward to it on Friday night.
Well, Coach Sanders, I know that you're looking forward to that game, but you have a kid that is doing big things out there. He's a running back, and he's leading one of the nation's leading rushers, Markel Deering. Woo. Tell us all about him.
Yeah, DJ, you and Thrift, he's been in the program for 3 years, and so last year, you all recognize Antavius Richardson. He was my 4-star kid that's at Notre Dame now,
right?
And so so he was kind of the leader, and so this year. We've had to lean on him because we've got a young quarterback. And so right now, he's one of the leading rushers in the state in our classification. And, it's no secret. If you're going to beat Greenville, you got to stop number 2. And, he's off to, we played 5 games. He's almost near 1,000 yards. And so he has North Carolina Central, some other schools like that's interested in him. So, we're gonna definitely lean on him on Friday night, and hopefully he can lead us to a victory.
Tell you what, how the folks treating you out there at Greenville, man? Because obviously that's an institution that I know Jeremy, who had made it as a legendary, of course. And again, I know they still honor him. But do you have his name up? Do they have his name up in the school anywhere? Have they dedicated anything?
They do. Him and of course I know this name. Dwight Hostetler,
yes.
He's the architect, and Jeremy. And matter of fact, when we went to the playoffs last year, I was honored and I had his family there because that was the first time Greenville's been to the playoffs since him. You know that, and so
yeah.
He was a lot of the audience know Kentavious Caldwell Pope and Mario Alford was a part of that team, and so 15 years later. We took Greenville to the playoffs, and so they've embraced me, man. They let me do my thing. They got me out of retirement. Of course, that when I retired from Spencer in 21,
right?
And Joe Kegler, took my spot. I thought it was over for me, but God had another plan for me, and I've been up there. This is year 3, and so we've kind of every year we've gotten a little bit better, man. So They've embraced me, man. They love what I'm doing for the program, and so it kind of reminds me of the early years of my father. When he got Carver going and stuff. And so I'm just long as I've got breath in my body and kids feel like I can still make a difference, man. I'm gonna still coach and still try to motivate kids, man.
I'm glad you just said that because you've improved in wins every single year. You're 3-2 this year, and you may mention Columbus is a big game. Obviously, they play in a classification above you, Coach, and that Coach Peters done a great job looking like he's going to make the playoffs, but it's really the games after that, Tryon, Bowden, and Manchester specifically. Those games are region games that can get you in the playoffs. How important is it finishing out strong and playing Columbus High tough, knowing what you got coming down the stretch?
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, and I told the kids, I said, hey, we're going to use this week against Columbus High. And, next week for homecoming, we play Mount Vernon. And I know DJ knows this name. The head coach at Mount Vernon is Terrence Edwards,
right.
A Georgia legend. And so, we're going to use that time to really get better and evaluate things. So when we do play Tryon and those teams in the region, we know where we are. And so, because this Thrift and DJ, everybody's kind of going to that wing tee now. And so, it's one of them things where you have to be disciplined. And you have to, and I tell the kids, hey, you may see some eye candy, but something's coming your way. So we're working hard at it, man. And like you said, I'm using this as a measuring stick, and also too, in our division, even though they're not going with the power rankings, but they're going to use that in case of tiebreakers. Y'all know that, And so right now we're like number 16 in the power rankings in our division, which is great for us. And so we want to, keep that. So those non-region games can still affect us in case of ties and stuff, man. So we really want to try to get this one on Friday or be a competitive game. Yes, sir.
Coach Robert Sanders is our guest this morning on the Sportsvisions morning show. Coach, tell us about that Greenville community. We hear about it, but what kind of community is that?
DJ, when I first got up there, I had to get adjusted because, my career was, I did 30 years in Muskogee County. So I had to kind of get used to that rural type environment and everything. Right. And so I had to make some adjustments, because, in Columbus, you got neighborhoods and stuff like that, man. But I think it was a filling out process at first. Yeah. Because they didn't know a lot about me and this, that, and the third. So they wanted to know was I invested in that community. And so every year that support has gotten a lot better because this year 3 for me. So they know I'm not going anywhere. I want to build that program. And so, I can go, hey, look, I can go anywhere in town. We got a new restaurant. Every time I go in there, guys, I get a free meal. That type of thing. Right. And so, hey, on Friday nights, man, and I love for y'all to come up there if you get a chance, man, it's packed. At 6:00, they shut down and everybody goes to the field and watch us play. And it's really been a home field advantage for me, man. And so, from the mayor to the police chief to everybody, it's like, they see me, they throw up their hand, they come to the school, they come to practice and they just talk about how they see the resurgence of Greenville and that's the thing, DJ, you and Thrift. I played against Hostetler when I was at Pacelli, and this, DJ. That's when they were at their all time. That's when in the '80s they were at their peak. They were winning state championships. So I know what Greenville was capable of doing and is capable of doing. And so that's one thing about it. And I learned that of course from guys like yourself, DJ, and of course my father. You got to embrace the history, man. You gotta know the history, and I've embraced it, man. And so even his family has reached out to me. And they said they like what I'm doing and stuff. And so, I wish I could go back in time and look at. I wish I could be in my 30s or 40s again if I could, man. But hey, with the time I got left, man, I just want to enjoy it and enjoy the ride, man.
Well, Coach, this is what I'd like to do now. Again, we've been able to talk about your team and again the success and how you're adjusting to the community, but I want to talk a little bit about your dad. He, of course, is an iconic figure, and again, Pete Sanders, Carver High School. You were a little boy, but you were a very, very integral part, and you knew a lot about his history. And I want you to share some of that history this morning because I know that we don't have enough time to share it all. But the things that are most important what I like to do is, as far as keeping those stories alive, because we have so many young coaches and certainly the young players that don't have any idea who was the first coach and who was some of the successors at Carver High School. But in your own words, would you please share that information?
Well, DJ, and you and Thrift, I appreciate y'all giving me this platform, and this, a lot of people, before I talk about my father, DJ, people need to know who BT Folks is. That's the one who really brought, black high school football to Columbus, Georgia. So if there wouldn't be no Pete Sanders or Otis, BT Folks is who you need to, it starts with him, right. Than anybody. And so, when Carver became a high school, he said, hey, I need Pete Sanders to be the head coach. And so, he started in, this in 1961. He coached from 1961 to 1975, and the thing about my father that a lot of people don't know is that his first 10 years, if you can look it up, he had over a 50% winning percentage. From 1961 to 1971, he had over a 50 percent winning percentage. And so, and then integration hit in beginning of the 71-72 season, and his record kind of reflected the change in culture. And this, I don't want to go too deep, but when you got kids that you built up and all of a sudden they're taken away from you. Right. And and kids that were supposed to come to him didn't. And so, that's when the Glenwoods and the Pacellis and all those schools kind of came about because those kids didn't want to come and play for, you know, Spencer and Carver and stuff like that. So it kind of put him in a bind, you know what I'm saying? So his record really doesn't reflect those last 4 or 5 years, what kind of coach he was, you know what I'm saying? And so I've always said that when he was on the level playing field, he could coach with anybody. And so, you know, it's something that, you know, I researched it. I know you know this. And you know, one of the greatest coaches of all time is Otis Spencer. You know, the stadium's named after him and everything. But you know what? A lot of people don't know this. And you can look it up. It's in the history. My father had a 5-5 record against him, head to head. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't know that. But guess what? If my father had a 5-5 record, he had to be doing something right. You know what I'm saying? And so, and you know, like I said, he started in 61. In 1965, he beat Spencer. He beat Spencer 7-6, and he was actually in the playoffs. He actually played Laney out of Augusta.
Lucy
Laney. And I'll tell you and Thrift a quick story. You know, he got ready to play them. And, you know, I know both of y'all probably, and I know you know DJ Suge Jordan over at Auburn. Auburn. My father actually went to Auburn, him and Rudy Ingersoll. You know Rudy Ingersoll, DJ. I know you know him. He was my daddy's offense coordinator. And they got ready to play, and he was like, man, they're so big. They said, Coach, we need some help. And he said, just what you need to do. You need to open up your splits on the offensive line. He said, if they line up, head up, you do this. If they're in the gap, block down. So they were up 24-0 at halftime, and then, you know, Laney made some adjustments, but he won the game, you know. And then so he was actually supposed to play for a state championship in 65. And, you know, this is not the platform, you know, but you know, DJ, better than anybody what happened, and it was outside of his control. It wasn't because of anything he did, so he wasn't able to play for a state championship. And I always tell people, I wish he would have had an opportunity, because it probably could have changed the narrative of the hierarchy, or where people kind of, you know, view my father as far as, you know, how you want to view him as far as greatness and stuff like that. But you know, he opened up a lot of doors, DJ. You know that. You know, one of his greatest players, and you know him very well, was Thermos Butler.
That's right.
You know, Thermos Butler went to Kansas. You know that. Then he played in the Canadian League.
Right.
You know, and he's in the Hall of Fame. You know, and so, you know, my father had relationships with Kansas. He sent kids to what's known as Power 5 now. He did that. You know that. Wisconsin, Kansas, places like that. So that pipeline was open in the 60s. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, Coach Davis, you know, he ran with it as well and did a great job and on and on. But, you know, my father had guys, you know, Thermos Butler, you know, DJ made it to the Canadian League. So he went professional football.
Right.
So you're talking about a guy who started a program in 1961, and less than 10 years later, he's got kids going Power 5, and also made it to the Canadian League. And also too, you know, a lot of iconic coaches and figures in Columbus. You know Richard Mahone, Coach Mahone, better than anybody.
Yes.
Coach Mahone, one of the greatest basketball coaches of all time, was my father's center. He played center on my dad's football team. You know, Colin Jones was my daddy's running back. Felix Walton, Tim Walton's daddy, was his linebacker. You know, and you know Bobby Wright. Bobby Wright, one of the greatest defensive coordinators stuff, got his start under my dad. So, you know, when you look at his tree and you look at what he did, you know, DJ, you know, his if you go and look at the record, you know, he was the one who turned the tide on the Carver-Spencer rivalry, because after a certain period of time, and you notice, it went from Spencer, then Carver started taking over.
Yes.
So after he beat Spencer that first time, matter of fact, in 1967, the year that Spencer won the state championship, you know this very well, my father beat them that year 7-6. He beat them 7-6. Right. That's facts.
Yeah.
And from 1969 all the way till he retired, he never lost to Spencer. He never lost to Spencer. So, and you know, a guy like yourself, you know, if you don't mind me saying this, I remember you telling me, you was like, man, I remember your father, and you was like, hey man, you were kind of one of those guys that was like, shoot, man, I think I might want to play for Carver, because now Carver has started to be the predominant, you know, team in school and where, you know, the athletes wanted to go to. And you know, we've talked in private and stuff, and I know I appreciate what you were saying about my father, but I think because of him and what he did, I think that was one of the reasons why you did what you did at Carver and was a pioneer yourself, man, and everything. So, you know, I can spend a lot of time, you know, talking about it, DJ. My biggest thing when it comes to him is that, you know, I've always said that, you know, and I don't mind telling you guys that I feel like I just feel like, you know, he's really never got his just due. And I'm just gonna be honest. I'm not trying to say he's the greatest. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is he deserves his flowers. And because of you start a program in 61. You know, he was, you know, DJ, he was barely 30 years old. Yes. You know what I'm saying? So he didn't have a lot of experience when BT gave it to him. So you mean to tell me in a short period of time, he's starting to look eye to eye with one of the greatest coaches of all time? So, you know, he had to really, really work and put forth that effort, because he didn't have a feeder or he could go out there and recruit. He had to, you know that he took them kids and worked.
Yes.
And so, you know, I'm extremely, you know me, DJ, and I've you know, a lot of people say, well, that's your daddy and this, that, and the third, but the proof is in the pudding. You can look it up. The records speak for itself. So when he was on a level playing field, he was one of the greats to do it.
Yes.
And you know, I just, you know, I do this because of him. You know what I'm saying? And I you know that, and you know, I've had a pretty successful career in what I've done, especially in wrestling and some stuff like that, man. But you know, a lot of people know that. And then another thing on a little side note, guys, is that, and DJ, you know this, you know, when he left Carver, you know, he did some things that have never been done before or after. You know, he was the first elementary PE consultant. You remember that? Yes. He was the first one to do that, and the last one to do that. He had the and you helped with that, the citywide track and field elementary events. You know that he did it at the elementary schools, and they had the finals at Connect Stadium where we're playing right now.
Right.
So a lot of the track athletes that went through that program, and you know some of them went on, but they got that start through my father's vision with the elementary track and field and stuff. And so, you know, he's had a diverse career, and he was the first to do a lot of things, you know. And so I've always said, you know, that whenever you're the first, being a trailblazer, having to overcome the things about with integration and segregation and all the things that was thrown his way, you know, he was still able to do it at a high level, man. And so, you know, and a lot of people don't know this, DJ, is that Otis and my father could never really be close, because you know the climate back then. It was real bad. But I know for a fact, because I've witnessed it. I've met, you know, he's been in my home, and he said to my father, he said, Pete, he said, you wanted to go, son, because he was able to really put his guard down and say, hey man, what you did, hey man, that's remarkable.
Yes.
Because I started in 48. Mm-hmm. You started in 61. And it got to a point where you and I looking at each other eye to eye. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and so, you know, he said, and matter of fact, Otis Sistrunk, who you know very well, Otis Sistrunk told me to my face, he said, you know what? The two greatest coaches ever, and I'm not saying it is, but he told me that the greatest two coaches ever come through Columbus was Otis Spencer and my father. He said it, not me. So for him to say that, for Goot Spencer, who you know who Goot Spencer is,
yes,
for Steve Reese,
yeah.
So I'm taking you back now.
Yeah,
for those guys to say, for Monk Johnson, you can ask him right now, to say that my father he's pretty good. You know, we got a lot of respect for him. And so that's all the validation that I need. But I just feel like, hey, you know, he needs and I'm gonna say it without saying it. He needs a final resting spot. And I'm just going. And when people ask me certain questions about why my father hadn't gotten certain things, I shy away from it because I don't want people thinking, "Oh, that's your daddy." I want it to be based on what he did, what he accomplished. You know what I'm saying? I don't. And if he's not worthy of certain things, then so be it.
Yes.
But what hurts me, and I'm just telling you, is that I should be able to go to Carver and see something. And that, and you know me, DJ. I'm not trying to step on nobody's toes.
That's right.
But he's got to be recognized because he just didn't start it, but he did it at a high level. And that's how, that's how I feel about it, and we talked over the years and I've kind of buried that. I've kind of let that go. But when you told me that, hey man, you want to really talk about, bring back the history so the kids can know, because when I mention a James Baskins, people need to know who that is. He's one of the greatest quarterbacks. You know who that is because you played quarterback there. So you know who James Baskins is. You know who Charlie Rogers is. You know who Willie Moore is. You know who Abraham Menifee and Harold Jordan. See, these are names that people don't know, but they're some of the greats.
Absolutely.
They're some of the greatest to ever come, and they were under the tutelage of my father. So all I'm saying is, people need to know that Carver has a rich tradition. And, my father passed the torch to Wallace Davis, and then it was passed to Dale McGee. You got to think about that. Dale McGee, who went to Georgia and Georgia State now. There was a time period where there was only 3 coaches at Carver from 1961 to when Dale left. And all 3 of those guys were iconic.
Yes.
And that's why Carver is in the position that it's in, because it was stability. And you know this better than anybody. Then Carver went through a down period because this coach come, this coach left, this coach came, this coach left. And now, when Coffee got there and now under Jarvis, it's back on firm ground. And so, all I've ever said was, me is like, hey, like right now, one of Watts, the freshman phenom.
Yes.
One of the best coaches, best players in the state. But guess what? I want him to know the history.
That's right.
Where you come from. I want the defensive end there. The kid going to Texas A&M.
Yeah.
You need to know that there were kids in the 60s that played your position at a high level. You know what I'm saying? I want the young freshman quarterback to understand that there was a Cecil Hood, there was a James Baskin, there was a Glenn Ford.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so, and that's all it's always been for me, DJ. But I take it as a badge of honor, and I've always said, I use my stories right now when I talk to my kids. They get, because I still draw from a lot of the things that he taught me, and so I would go when I watched you play, and when you were doing your thing, I would actually be sitting. It would be me, my father, Thomas Works, and Fuller Hurd. Fuller Hurd. We were all at Memorial Stadium. I'm watching you play, and a lot of kids like, man, why are you not? Because I wanted to soak in that knowledge, man. Right. I wanted to learn everything I could from legends, guys that did it at a high level, and so I've always said that the younger coaches missed out on a lot of the growth and development because they didn't go through that grind, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? It was a lot of stuff was, here it is. But there were processes that my father said I had to go through. I had to go through it. You know what I'm saying? It's like you got to be the one to wash the clothes. You know what I'm saying? You got to be the one to do the dirty work. You know what I'm saying? So when Colin Jones hired me at Spencer, I was the one who took the VHS tapes to the other school and exchange tape. It wasn't no huddle back then.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I had to go and take that tape and give it to somebody and come all the way back to Spencer. And we watched film. I had to go all the way back, man. So I think that's why I have an appreciation of the sport, because I understand the essence of coaching. I understand that I had to be that freshman coach, that JV coach, that position coach, that coordinator. See, I got, you know me, I got a head coaching job. I was almost retired when I got my first job as a head coach because, you know, and it is what it is. But, you know, and I think that's what prepared me for what I'm doing at Greenville. Because I had to learn, because right now, y'all know this, Thrift, you and DJ, at Greenville, I've got to coach the offensive line. I got to coach the quarterback. I got to coach because I don't have 10 coaches. I only got 28 kids on the team. So I've got to make sure that I teach the fundamentals. But if I didn't learn the basics of football and learn every position and what it takes to do it, I couldn't be doing what I am now. My father told me that. He said, son, you got to market yourself and learn how to coach every position on the field. Offense, defense, special team, line. So what I do up there now, guys, is whatever I need to do, because y'all know most guys don't want to coach certain positions. Right. They want the glamour. So I do the dirty work, man. And so I owe all that to my father. I owe all that to guys like you. And I can mention, you know, Big James Wright. You know who James Wright is. That was that was one of my daddy's biggest advocates. You know, he would be the one. He was his biggest cheerleader. He'd get off that bus. I know you know the stories. He'd get off that bus. They might be playing, you know, somebody say, hey, y'all better be ready because we going to get you. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, I soaked all that in, man. I met all those guys and I owe a debt of gratitude to those guys because they taught me at an early age about the essence of being a coach. Not so much just a football coach, but just a coach, you know. And so I remember real quick, when I got to Spencer and Colin Jones, I thought I was going to be a basketball coach, football, because George Williams, you know, both of y'all know George Williams very well. I was going to be the basketball coach after Heat, whatever. But Colin said, no, I need you to be the wrestling coach because Dr. James, both of y'all know at Kendrick, was leaving, going into leadership. So I was like, man, I don't. But my father said, you need to learn a multitude of sports. So if you don't know what door will open up for you, you know what I'm saying? And so, you know, now, you know, with my, and you know, DJ, with my wrestling, what I did with that, you know, with over 300 wins and state champions and all that kind of stuff, to be recognized as one of the GOATs to ever do it in that particular sport, I owe it to my father because he was like, look, you might not, you know, but you need to know the basics of, you know, you need to know the basics of this and that. And so, you know, all that comes from him, man. Everything I've done, I come from him. And, you know, I wouldn't be, you know, I met you through him, you know what I'm saying? And he told me, hey, I want you to watch him. That's what a quarterback's supposed to do. And so, you know, the thing that you did, being a guy before your time, throwing the ball, stuff like that. Because back then, everybody handed the ball off. And so for you to do that and to go to Georgia and do your thing to pave the way for guys and stuff like that, man. So, you know, I appreciate, you know, you and keeping my father's memory alive. And, you know, I know you and I, we're going to talk about some things in private because at the end of the day, DJ, I just want what's due to him. That's all I ask. I don't want nothing given. But if he's earned it, DJ, whatever that is, my plea is that he gets it. That's all I ask.
We're up against the clock, buddy. But let me tell you something. Yeah. You have eloquently said this the way it is supposed to be. And that's why I didn't disturb you. I didn't interrupt you. But certainly, if you want to hear it again, Thrift,
it's all on Sportsvisions Facebook page and YouTube channel.
All right, Coach, we got to go. Have a great rest of your morning. You hear the music, you know what that means.
And the fight against Alzheimer's, now is the moment we've been waiting for. With new treatments emerging in the fight against Alzheimer's and other dementia, now is the time for hope. Now is the time for action. Held in over 600 communities nationwide, the Alzheimer's Association Walk to End Alzheimer's is the world's largest fundraiser for care, support, and research to fight the disease.